The Rob Carson Show is presented by Chapter, Medicare Guidance Simplified.
You don't need to live with aches and pains. Visit relieffactor.com today.
And on the World Wide Web, this is the Rob Carson Show.
And by the grace of God, it is finally Friday, and what a Friday it's gonna be.
The Virginia Supreme Court is tossing out that new congressional map that was crafted to flip four Republican Republican-held seats to Democrats. The court ruling in favor of a Republican challenge. The Virginia High Court rejecting a Democrat-backed ballot measure approved by voters last July.
Well, the ruling says that legislative Democrats did not follow the proper procedure when putting the referendum on the ballot. This could allow Republicans to keep their majority in the U.S. House. And coming the midterms here, this is an important time.
Yeah, this is really, really, really big news because Abigail Scamburglar is now a lame duck. She's like 90 or 120 days into her miserable tenure as a governor of the state of Virginia. When I first moved here, I was like, I'm moving to Virginia. I'm not going to live in Maryland. I lived in Maryland for a dozen years. When I moved back to the D.C. area, I said I'm going to move to Virginia. Then they elected this shyster, this CIA agent, this sociopath, this crazy cat lady, and then these Democrats in Richmond decided they were going to just suddenly pass about 80 new taxes. They want to tax gym memberships now. What the hell kind of sense does that make? You want people to be healthy? No, we're going to tax gym memberships. They're taxing things in the state of Virginia just because they're not taxed. That's the only reason. That's the only reason. And then on top of everything else, they were going to take away our representation as Republicans in the state of Virginia, a state that was founded, by the way, that literally started the Revolutionary War over taxation without representation, and they thought they could get away with it. And they just got their asses kicked up between their shoulders. Thank you very much. Not afraid to say it. I'm so grateful that this happened and that these thieves, these crooked Democrats are going down in flames in so many ways. This is a glorious day for America. I just posted a video on social media because, I mean, do you know how big what's happening in America is right now with regard particularly to free and fair elections? Do you know how big this is? Because what this is going to do, it's going to cause the Democrat Party to either disappear from existence or actually become responsive to its voters and sane. Because right now, they're out of their frickin' minds in Washington, D.C. They're insane. They don't represent you. Democrats, I'm telling you, and this is catching fire, by the way. I'm seeing Fox hosts echoing my words. I swear to God, I think they listen to me over there, which is great. Cool. I'm absolutely cool with it. But this is so big, the Democrat Party has been able to steal elections. They say that there's no election fraud. Honestly, shut up. I'm so done with that nonsense, all right? The elections are not free and fair. The election of 2020 was stolen. It was stolen because they stopped vote counting the night of the election in the 7 battleground states where Donald Trump was way ahead, and then all these votes came in. So knock it off. Okay? Knock it off. You rubbed our face in the mess you made for years. You rubbed our face in it. You said when it was happening, we couldn't talk about it. You said before that election, we couldn't talk about it on social media. Then we were banned. We were restricted from saying anything about it until this very day. And Democrats have been able to pump up mail-in ballots, ship ballots across states, get illegals and others on the voter rolls. Hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people are being taken off the voter rolls who should not be on the voter rolls. In the state of Minnesota, literally this week, the Republicans put forth a piece of legislation to take dead people off the voter rolls, and the Democrats voted against it. The Democrats voted against it. It is utterly laughable. But let me see this. Minnesota. Let me see. Minnesota. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah. Minnesota. Check this out. Listen to this. This is Minnesota.
11. I recognize a member from Olmsted, Representative Quam.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. This is just to require the full removal of deceased people from the voters' rolls.
Yeah.
And before you ask, well, nobody deceased is voting, the federal system at SSA has checked registrations and has flagged deceased people registering in the state of Minnesota. It's not a...
Dead people were registering to vote in the state of Minnesota, and Minnesota legislature, they want the dead people to stay on the voter rolls. Do you understand this? What a wretched, putrid, awful, evil party the Democrat Party has become, and it's about to be exorcised. And they're going to have to start listening to their voters. 95% plus of Democrats think it's insane to surgically alter or use puberty blockers on children, particularly boys, to become girls and compete in girl sports. 95+% of Democrats feel that way. 100% of Democrats in Washington, D.C. say that it's fine. Okay, I think 70+% of Democrats say voter ID should be required. 100% of Democrats on Capitol Hill say no voter ID is necessary because they want illegals to vote. That's it. That's all. That's that. They're willing to say anything to demean you, whether you be a black person, you're either too stupid or whatever to be able to get a driver's license or some sort of ID. The same goes with women. They said that about women. Like half of Democrats are women, and they said that women are unable to, without a man in their life, change their ID. This is like what? It is. You're just so bloody broken. You're so bloody broken, and this is a healing moment. This is a real healing moment, and it's sweeping the country. Yesterday in Tennessee, they took that Supreme Court decision from Louisiana and got rid of a racially gerrymandered district. And guess what? Democrats are screaming racism, but the problem is that district has voted for a white man, Steve Cohen, for the last 20 years, and this puts a black woman Republican in the position to win the district. Oh my God! And they're saying it's racist. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. When your party is built on sand, your house of cards is built on sand, the foundation will be swept away by the high tide, and high tide is here, baby. High tide is here. It is so, so, so glorious. I just love it. We've got much, much more on this, but first, I think we need something from Jim Gossi. He just did this 5 minutes ago on the Rob Carson Show.
They overturned it in Virginia.
Woohoo!
Good job, Supreme Court.
Come on.
We knew you had it in ya.
Lame duck scamburger.
Abigail's scheme, it was not allowed.
I love it.
Of this decision, Virginia should be proud.
Hell yeah.
Can't you see? Dems aren't free.
Woohoo!
Free to cheat.
Come on.
The GOP, they broke the law.
They did.
When they tried to draw
I love it.
a crooked map,
Woohoo!
illegal map. They threw it out,
Oh my goodness.
erased all doubt.
Woohoo!
Supreme Court, they showed their clout. Dems tried to pander and gerrymander with a crooked map. A load of crap.
This is such good news because, there's so many people saying I might consider moving out of the state of Virginia because Virginia is lost, and guess what? It is not. It is not one little bit. And the Democrats are trying all this Second Amendment, gun control. I call it gun suggestions because I ain't following whatever the state house in Virginia has to say about my Second Amendment rights. And I would encourage you to disregard what they do as well, because what's legal yesterday shouldn't just be illegal today because of a bunch of jackweeds in Richmond, Virginia. Unbelievable. Virginia Supreme Court kills Democrat gerrymandering scheme. The Virginia Supreme Court just killed it. The party's cynical attempt to rig the 2026 midterm elections, blatantly unconstitutional. This is the Supreme Court ruling. On March 6, 2026, the General Assembly of Virginia submitted to Virginia voters a proposed constitutional amendment that authorized partisan gerrymandering of congressional districts in the Commonwealth. We hold the legislative process employed to advance the proposal violated Article 12, Section 1 of the Constitution of Virginia. This constitutional violation incurably taints the resulting referendum vote and nullifies its legal efficacy. They even wrote it on the ballot. They misled Virginia voters. They were making the representation unfair, and they called it "Make It More Fair" on the damned ballot. That's how filthy, rotten, Stalinistic the Democrat Party is, not only in Washington, D.C., but also in states across the country. The largest organized crime family in the history of the world is the Democrat Party, and their cabal is falling apart. Its financial structure is falling apart. All of the NGOs, all of these beneficiaries of Medicare, Medicaid, all of this government largesse who were going to vote slavishly Democrat, being defunded. The next thing I hope is that George Soros and Neville Singham are extradited to America to face charges of sedition, 100%. But this is a glorious day in America, and I'm telling you, Democrats, it's a good day for you too. It's just a bad day for the crooked politicians that you elected or whose elections they stole. There you go. Let's take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like
I have
when
a
we played
story
for Coach
about
Carter.
Walmart,
My
too.
energy.
Hey guys, it's Carson. You know my signature phrase, don't catch the stupid. When it comes to Medicare, that's easier said than done. Medicare is overly complex with thousands of plans, hidden gotchas in the fine print, and rules nobody really explains to you. Many people just pick something and hope for the best. That's why you need to know about Chapter. They're the only advisor that looks at every plan in the country, matches your doctors, your prescriptions, and your situation to a plan that fits your needs. When your call with Chapter is done, you know your doctors are covered. Your prescriptions are matched, and you go from, I hope I did this right, to, I know I did. That, my friends, is peace of mind. A call with Chapter is free for my audience, and there's no pressure to sign up. Call Chapter today. Here's the number, 27 Medicare. That's 27 MEDICARE. 27 Medicare for Chapter. No pressure. What's your excuse? Call 27 Medicare and don't catch the stupid yourself. Call 27 Medicare today.
TDS. James Covell has TDS. Will I land in a psych ward? That is anybody's guess. It's for sure I'm insane. I really can't explain why for Donald Trump I have so much disdain. I'm as crazy as a loon. I'm gonna crack up soon. It's expanding like a big balloon. It's gotten even worse. It's gonna be my curse. TDS, TDS, TDS. TDS, TDS, is it derangement? I say yes. Whenever Trump is mentioned, I become a giant mess. He causes me such pain, pain I can't contain. Of my existence, he has been a bane, like Ellen and Rosie. In our brain, he lives rent-free, driven me as crazy as can be. It's something I can't shake. How much more can I take? TDS, TDS, TDS.
WCBM.
The Rob Carson Show podcast is everywhere. Go to newsmax.com/listen for details.
And we discounted that statement, and now here we are seeing a black man in Tennessee fight to keep the only black district that they have there being totally erased off the map. And I just think, there needs to be more, those conversations need to be tied together.
There's no such thing as a black district or a white district. It's an American district. People... Again, we vote based on our values, not the color of our skin. At least we shouldn't.
That's actually a black woman talking there. Holy hell. It's just amazing. It's like the Democrat Party's almost racist or something. Oh, yeah, they're completely racist. My God in heaven. They're the party of racism. They were part of the slavery. They were part of Jim Crow. The party of the Great Society. Lyndon Johnson literally built the Great Society to destroy the black family. Bravo. Bravo, Democrats. Bravo, Democrats. You're being exposed. You're being exposed for the awfulness that you have perpetrated on the country, and you're just totally evil now. So leaders of the Democrat Party, you guys are just totally evil. You're like down with surgically castrating healthy boys and having girls go through puberty blockers and then get a hysterectomy and breast removed by the age of 12. You people are nuts, man. You guys are just nuts. Into the pits of hell with you, honestly. Just in the pits of hell with you. Yesterday in Tennessee, by the way, they decided to take advantage of the Supreme Court decision about racial gerrymandering, and they got rid of the only black district that was racially gerrymandered. All right? That's illegal now. And this isn't about excluding black people. This is about Democrats using black people. That's what it's all about. This isn't going to change any black votes. This isn't going to might cause them to vote Republican, actually. But I want you to listen to these idiots in the Tennessee House yesterday. Oh, wow. You frickin' children. My God. You need a total spanking, and guess what? You just got one. They literally brought these, the bullhorn things you got, those, the air canisters that have the loud horn, whatever, and then bullhorns. They had them ready. What did I tell you? What did I tell you about Democrats? It is mine. Doesn't that sound like movie Vampires Dying? No! Yeah, let's compare the two here real quick. That's the movie. This is Democrats. Yeah. So that's Democrats, and this is actually the movie Vampires Dying. Yeah. Very, 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 very similar. Very, very similar, actually. These are adults. These are adult people right here in Tennessee. Wow, I got to tell you, that is just, that is crazy. What I tell you, I told you. It's like movie vampires. I got to tell you, they are, man. This is exactly what I predicted. I said that the Democrat Party, they're like movie vampires dying. They want to drag you kicking and screaming into hell with them. Yesterday, they almost it was like almost they wanted to set the damn building on fire. They did the country in 2020. That was all Democrats, and Democrats were never held accountable for it. But guess what? Now you just got your rear end handed to you. Oh my goodness, it is so glorious. Lydia Moynihan pointed out the obvious, which is kind of funny, because Steve Cohen's a white male Democrat, an older dude, and he's been in charge of this district that's gerrymandered black. And oddly enough, this is going to mean that a black woman Republican will be elected.
A little ironic that the woman now who is likely going to win the 9th district in Tennessee is a black Republican woman as a result of this redistricting effort. It's likely going to be a black Republican woman who beats that old white man.
Could I make this very simple
But
point?
that's racist?
We're going to come back. It actually is.
We're going to take a quick break and then
We're going to take a quick break, and these idiot panelists on CNN are going to go dunk their head in cold water and maybe have some holy water splashed on their face. Unbelievable. Oh, man. Unbelievable. Todd Starnes writes on Twitter, the congressional redistricting in Tennessee had nothing to do with race. I live in Memphis. This is the reality of the situation. Representative Steve Cohen, a white dude, has represented Memphis in Congress for 20 years. During his tenure, Republicans nominated a black woman as their choice 5 times. Democrats could have elected a black woman, but she was the wrong political persuasion. So, my question to Democrats, did you deny Charlotte Bergman her seat in Congress because of her skin color or gender? Facts matter. Memphis Democrats loathe black Republicans more than they do white Republicans. It is remarkable. It is remarkable, and they're so bloody wrong. And here is Ro Khanna. I mean, this is some drama here. He brings up slavery. He brings up the Indian government with what's his name? I'm trying to blank on his name. Gandhi. With Gandhi. Listen to how deep he digs, because he's so upset and he's trying to get people back on the thought plantation.
I understand the anger and the frustration of what it feels like to go backwards. I mean, we're talking about 250 years of slavery. We were talking about the scars of 100 years of Jim Crow.
Oh my God.
We're talking about Reconstruction that was cut short with the Southern Redemption. We're talking about the scars of colonialism. And my grandfather spent 4 years in jail as part of Gandhi's independence movement.
Wow.
And many of us were born
Nelson Mandela
thinking that this nation had overcome those ugly strains.
Oh my God.
After
Democrat slavery,
and
the Democrat Confederacy,
decades of sacrifice, and that we were the beneficiaries of moving towards Frederick Douglass and King and Obama's dream of a multiracial democracy. Well, it turns out we were wrong in thinking it would be as easy a path.
Yeah, the first blacks in Congress were Republicans exclusively, you moron. Wow. Oh, it's just so delicious. I just want to take it all in. I just want to bask in it. I should put some sunscreen on. I should have put some sunscreen on because I'm going to get a tan from all the happy. It's just flowing in. All the positive vibes are just flowing. It's so good. And Michael Steele was on MSNBC. He sold his soul to have a contract on television, and he got all sorts of. This is one of the whitest black people I've ever known in my life. He used to head the Republican Party, and all of a sudden he decides to kind of do what Kamala does.
Talking about here, and I love what you just said. I mean, you have this legislator saying, "I don't know what the hell their problem is." Because they are just drunk stupid right now. Yeah. Now, when you sit up there, race is a leading predictor. Y'all don't want to talk about DEI out there. Y'all don't want to talk about race. But everything you do touches on all of that. Everything you're doing touches on.
No, not at all there, Michael. Not one little bit there, Michael. Oh, my goodness. He turned it on and turned it off like Kamala. It's a glorious day. Tony Kinnett's going to have some good thoughts on all of this. I can't wait to get him on. It's going to be so good. Let's take a break and come back. You're listening to The Rob Carson Show. Hey guys, it's Rob Carson for Relief Factor. There's a reason why at my age I can still crush it at the gym, carry an armchair by myself, or do any home improvement project without pain during or after, and that's Relief Factor. When it comes to supplements, the two things that matter most, it works and you trust it. Relief Factor was created by a combat-wounded Vietnam veteran. He decided to become a doctor simply to help people, to heal them. If pain is holding you back, find out why so many people, including me, make Relief Factor a part of their daily routine. Try the 3-week quick start today. Go to ReliefFactor.com. That's ReliefFactor.com. Or call 800-4RELIEF. That's 800-4RELIEF for Relief Factor. My entire life, my bedding has just been bedding. I got the least expensive stuff I could find. Have you noticed your sheets slipping off the corners lately? Maybe your pillows just don't feel supportive anymore. Most people actually keep their bedding way longer than they should. It slowly wears down, and you don't realize how much it's affecting your sleep. That's why I upgraded to Boll and Branch. They make everything your bed needs. Their signature organic cotton sheets, pillows, blankets, and comforters are all designed to be breathable, incredibly soft, and get better over time. Most people start out with their signature sheets. I added the waffle blanket, and now the whole bed just feels amazing. The moment you get Boll and Branch is the moment you discover the difference. Upgrade your sleep with Boll and Branch. Get 15% off your first order plus free shipping at bollandbranch.com. That's BOLL and branch.com/Rob Carson. Promo code Rob Carson. That's Boll and Branch, BOLLAND branch.com/Rob Carson. Code Rob Carson to unlock 15% off. Exclusions apply. Hey guys, it's Carson for Ghost Bed. I am sleeping better than I've ever slept in my entire life. I used to think a mattress was just furniture, but I got a Ghost Bed. Ghost Bed doesn't build mattresses like furniture. They build engineered sleep systems. Their beds are serious health equipment. Beds designed for relief and recovery, not looks. Your body should be healing while you sleep, not fighting for comfort. I noticed immediately. My first night on a Ghost Bed, I slept for 10 hours. If you're waking up stiff, tossing and turning, sleeping hot, even reaching for a pain reliever before bed, hoping tonight will be different, that's not aging. That's your mattress talking. Here's another thing I love about Ghost Bed. You get 101 nights to try it at home. If you don't like the difference, just send it back risk-free. Ghost Bed is currently having their Memorial Day sale plus an extra 10% off for my audience. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson and use promo code Carson. Ghostbed.com/Carson. Promo code Carson for the sleep of a lifetime. Those are adults, supposedly, in the state of Tennessee. They had their bullhorns locked and loaded. They had them locked and loaded. Oh, my goodness. I have been waiting for hours today to talk to Tony Kinnett, Daily Signal, and, of course, WIBC in lovely Indianapolis, Indiana. What a week for free and fair elections, huh, bro?
I am living. I'm slapping my arm like a heroin addict trying to get this into my veins.
I had to put on sunscreen because of all the good news was hitting me in the face.
Oh, dude, I tell you what, and even better, look, calling this in advance was great because, being a weatherman, not actually, but, calling some predictions, some forecasting, it's good to be right. But then to just watch the meltdown, the left going, what do you mean we couldn't write it like a Facebook terms and conditions? What do you mean?
So you had this in Tennessee, which is spectacular, which is fallout because of the Supreme Court victory that means Democrats can't racially gerrymander districts, by the way. And the one thing that those districts have in common, not only that they're mostly black people, but they're also impoverished, they have terrible schools, they're dependent, and they're aggrieved. That's 65 years of that, by the way. And that's the thing it has in common. Go ahead.
Let us not forget that we have ripped away from the racially segregated district in Memphis. Now that that's no longer a thing, there's going to be, oh, wait a minute, I'm still looking at my notes here. No. The old white dude is being replaced with a black Republican woman. Uh-oh.
No, and hold on. I heard that it was a Republican KKK member was going to be elected.
Oh, no. The narrative is just as sad as one-ply wet toilet paper.
Isn't it just amazing? I think God has a sense of humor. I mean, God has a real sense of humor. He does. Sometimes very dark in my life. I'll just tell you that right now. I mean, like, everything's good, sobriety, whole thing. Wife files for divorce. I know, and God's like, okay, let's see what he does with this. But I'm going to tell you, knowing that this paves the way for a black female Republican to win, replacing an old white Democrat, is so beautiful. It's just so beautiful.
It is, and the real beauty here comes down to the 1, 2, 3 things they were going to try again. Not only was Virginia going to try this, but so was Illinois and California. Illinois can't redistrict anymore because they already have it so insanely harebrained, nonsensical. The literal precincts in Illinois that you would use to vote and direct for do not legally support it. So there's literally nowhere they can go. They're like Iran, between Iraq and a hard place. It's incredible.
The thing about Chicago, one of the gerrymandered districts looks like a chalk body outline. It's perfect. It's actually perfect.
Oh, the other one looks like a snail in traction. It's beautiful.
Oh, and then Virginia, and then Abigail Scambergler, she decides, and the Democrats ride in, they think they have some sort of mandate because of Fairfax and Loudoun County, and they come in, they decide to illegally take away the representation of Republicans in a state that was a colony that started the Civil War over taxation without representation.
Oh, yeah. And they get a used car salesman, Mr. Burns from The Simpson Smithers, writes this contract for the redistricting. It's like, well, Mr. Burns, I don't think the Supreme Court's going to like that. No matter, Smithers, send it out. And then they got slapped in the face with it.
Wow.
It's beautiful.
Well, I didn't know you could do those. I know you can do Donald Trump, but dang, man, you can take this show on the road.
We start talking about Texas, and I'll bring out Hank Hill.
Do it.
Dude, and that's the best part. Texas is also redistricting. They're fighting CARE. Oh, you thought that was going to distract me? This is the best ending to the week of all time.
It really is. It really is. The only thing that could make Texas better is if they defunded and got rid of that Muslim subdivision they want to build down there.
Well, I thought you were going to say if Texas just, got rid of Muslims, but let's not get too carried away.
Exactly. I got to tell you, this is, such a big week. Supreme Court ruling, then Virginia this morning after Tennessee yesterday. And isn't it interesting? The Democrat Party is locked and loaded, violent, loud, screeching, bringing their air horns, bringing their bullhorns to the session. Republicans, when the Democrats did this in the state of Virginia, what did we do? We took them to court. And I'm going to tell you, this is not going to end well for Democrats because I have a feeling they're going to try to set the country on fire this summer. And we are not going to take it. We are not going to put up with this because their next step, Tony, their next step, they're so bloody desperate right now. They're getting their butts kicked up between their shoulders that the leadership of this party are going to even double down on the violence. That's what I think. I think, though, however, rank and file Democrats, particularly a lot of women around the country, are other than the crazy cat ladies, are sick and damn tired of this Democrat Party, and a lot of them are leaving it. What do you think?
Yes, I said this before. All that a midterm election is, it's about propensity voters. Because right now, everyone thinks the only things Americans really care about are the presidential year elections. Yeah. But there are some primary indicators, and I live in a state of one of them, where you can absolutely get people out to vote. But to quote Robert the Bruce from Braveheart, you got to give them something to fight for. So that's the kind of thing that the Republican Party really needs to echo in a midterm RNC.
I didn't even mention, dude, I didn't even mention Indiana. Indiana was gigantic. We're talking like one of the Republicans got 70% of the vote, kicking these rhinos out of the state Senate. It's spectacular.
I mean, again, is it the biggest by percentage number of incumbents removed in 50 years? Yes, it is. It's a very big change. Now, again, there are still pitfalls for Republicans.
I know.
They need to deliver some things.
Mm-hmm.
However, the Democrats are busy shooting themselves in both feet. Barney Fife has nothing on that.
I swear, listen, I don't know what, the only thing they have left is probably violence. I mean, that's just what they're going to try. And I'll tell you, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. We're having these victories. I mean, they are out of their minds. They're completely out of their minds. They're losing the mail-in ballot, fraud. They're losing all these NGOs. They're losing all of this largesse that's been heaped upon Democrat voters like Somalians from us to assure they vote. They're cleaning up the voter rolls. And the Democrat Party, I've said this for years now. I've said that the Democrat Party is going to have to reinvent itself or disappear into the dustbin of history. And they're they have just fallen into the dustbin.
Well, what they're going to say is that they just weren't socialist and radical enough. And here's the catch, though. Yes, they are going to get violence, but it is a mistake for Republicans to only focus on that violence while they are getting violent. Yeah. It would be better if, yes, there was that going on, but Republicans took that time to say we were expecting them to be crazy, we were expecting them to be violent, but right now I am focused on delivering for my constituents who aren't on meth.
Boom. 100%. 100%. And, Tony, I got to tell you, It just feels like and I've said this is a battle between good and evil, and this has been foretold for millennia, and I believe we're in the thick of it. Whether it be Iran and the Ayatollah and the end of Hamas and Hezbollah and all these, with freedom spreading around the world, with all of these things, I really do believe, and I don't like the Bible bang and all that. But I just know that good is winning right now. Good has got evil on its heels. And my phone just went off. Oh, it's maybe God calling. I think it might be God calling. Anyway.
You're doing a televangelist program now? The Lord told me you got to get out there and vote.
And I said, answer that phone. Answer that phone and go to that break right now and come back. And then
somebody get the pews.
And then come back with Tony Kinnett on the other side of the break. Can I get an amen now?
Hey, man.
All right, let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
On Talk Radio 680 WCBM.
More with Tony Kinnett and Hank Hill and Mr. Burns in just a moment. I'm in such a good mood, I swear to God. When there are supply constraints on commodities, prices surge. You saw that with the Strait of Hormuz when it was blockaded, the Iranians tried to blockade it. The oil price went up. When there's a freeze in the orange groves in Florida, it happens. Gold is, when they mine it out of the ground, it's gone. And if somebody buys it, then they bought something you don't have. But you can have gold. Central banks are buying up gold. Corporations are buying up gold. You can have gold. I got gold with Birch Gold. I literally took the entire 401k that I got from selling cars. And it wasn't bad, actually. I did pretty damn well in 3 years. I turned it over to Birch Gold, letting it ride, baby. Letting it ride until I retire. Birch Gold is going to help you out by giving you first-time gold buyers an opportunity to buy in and get a rebate up to $10,000 on qualifying purchases. What the what? Yeah, I know, pretty crazy. For details and free information on the possibility of getting $10,000 in rebate with qualifying purchases, just text my name, Rob, to 989898. Birch Gold can help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold. Text Rob to 989898 to see if you qualify for that first-time gold buyer program up to $10,000 rebate on qualifying purchases. Again, text Rob to 989898. The Tennessee decision to get rid of the racially gerrymandered district has got people so upset it even turned Michael Steele on MS Now into Jasmine Crockett.
Talking about here, and I love what you just said. I mean, you have this legislator saying, I don't know what the hell their problem is, because they are just drunk stupid right now. Now, when you sit up there, race is a leading predictor. Y'all don't want to talk about DEI out there.
It actually gets better here. Here he's becoming Jasmine Crockett.
Everybody now got to get off their ass, and get busy about the vote. This November, you got to overwhelm the ballot with your vote. If you want to stop this mess, you need to start unelecting these state legislators. And I know I had a hand in putting some of them there. And be honest about it, they turn out to be tickleheads.
Tony Kinnett.
I am having just the best time in my entire life.
I swear to God.
Do you know that while all of this is going on with the Tennessee and with the Virginia, Hassan Piker, the little fat boy horse, rich little Turkish piece of garbage over on X, Hassan Piker is saying violent revolution is inevitable. My dude, if you decide to lead a little rally of your little communist freaks on a little violent march, as you were alluding to earlier, it will not be our heads on pikes, if you're catching what I'm saying.
Well, we are better armed intellectually and physically. I mean, that's just the way it is. We're the ones who...
I wasn't a fat little horse boy. I mean, that's just step number one.
That loser boy, he's going down in flames too, by the way. He's going down in flames.
Again, and whether it's him or whether it's Destiny or whether it's some of those other weirdos, they're all a bunch of little homosexual freaks. And I mean, seriously, they're in their little, they do all of this kind of, private orgy crap, and then they come out into public and act like they're normal. Seriously, that's their influencer class. My influencer class, like the millennial radio and TV broadcasters and stuff, when we get together, we drink beer, watch sports, and shoot guns, man.
Yeah.
No freaky, weird sex required.
No, not at all. I actually had a cigar with Logan Raddick from Newsmax. We went up on the roof of the parking garage in my complex. I had a cigar. There was no shenanigans, no weirdness there, no rooster sacrifices.
No, because after we're done, we go home to our growing family.
There you go. By the way, have you noticed, and I want you to think about this. We know that they got rid of Eric Swalwell. They got rid of him. Okay, they got. You know what? The problem now is they're ghosting Graham Plattner, but they don't have an alternative because the female candidate on the Democrat side pulled out, so they're stuck with him. And now nobody's talking about Graham Plattner. Have you noticed that?
Graham Plattner. Oh, you mean Main Führer?
Yes.
Yes. Jawohl, Main Führer. Yes. I do love how many Marines have come out to say, look, we got a lot of really cool tattoos because we're the Marines, Semper Fi.
Yeah.
But also, just a little fun fact here. through all of their service. In infantry, he tried to suggest the lightning bolts in the Nazi tattoo were like due to scout snipers. The dude was not a sniper.
No.
All right?
No.
He's wearing a concentration camp tattoo.
Totenkopf.
Oh, everyone was getting them in Serbia. No, they were. Who? The freaking Serbs during the Civil War?
Listen to this. On Twitter, I pulled up this article about Graham Plattner, and literally, they put the community notes underneath there that alerts you to something about the story. It'll say something like, "It's not official that the 2020 election was, stolen," or something like that. This is what it was under his story. Graham Plattner had a tattoo of a German Totenkopf, not nearly resembling the Totenkopf. That's what Twitter had under his story. This guy, they're abandoning him. And I say, hang on to those sound bites saying, we love Graham Plattner. Hang on to Chris Van Hollen saying, it doesn't matter. He forgot, he had a come to Jesus moment and everything's fine. Because they are dropping support of this guy. That's what I think anyway.
And then he just blamed it on Marines. He's like, who's really to blame? All of our servicemen and women. Oh, yeah, that's the move.
It's PTSD.
I'd like to do a segment on kicking puppies and punching children.
I know a lot of people with PTSD, okay? I've worked for a charity called Friends and Service Heroes in Kansas City. It is such an insult to those who have been so profoundly hurt, who literally are there thinking of pulling that trigger, ending their life because of the pain in their head, because of what they witnessed. And this son of a... says that his PTS drove him to get a Totenkopf tattoo. Unforgivable.
Same. I've seen so many guys that I've been on the ground with in the sandbox, and that came home, and it took years, decades. Some of them were never fully put back together.
Yeah.
It did not turn a single one of them into a neo-Nazi.
100%.
It is the foulest filth
I know.
to suggest such. And again, I hope that he gets exactly what is coming to him, and I hope it comes fast and cold and when he's not looking for it.
There you go. All right, so Tony, wow, this was kind of fun today, man. Before we go, got another 20 seconds. I'm sure your show Wednesday was phenomenal, by the way, at huge numbers after the victory there. Tell us about that, and then tell us where people can find your glorious show.
You head to youtube.com/Daily Signal, 7 p.m. Eastern, and you want to check it out tonight because there's a song Rob sent just for me to play on the show. So you don't want to miss that.
All right, brother. Talk to you soon, man. You're the best. It's a great day in America. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Oh, hello, guys. That was fun. Let me see what my YouTubers are saying over here. Hello, YouTubers. Hold on, I'm loading it. I don't know why I'm not. There they are. Hi there, Deplorable Dinosaur and Scott Davies and Rita in Tennessee. What's going on? Oh, yeah, the UFO stuff's coming out today. We're going to cover that. We're going to cover it. It's just this has been such a good day that I had to cover all this, I had to cover all of this. So President Trump is delivering some remarks today, I guess. Where are we today? There we are. Hi, everybody. Let's go over to Facebook. Hold on. Got to find Facebook. My Rumbly Roos. Hello, Rumbly Roos. Had one of my Rumbly Roos write me today, said he's going to miss the trip to D.C. this fall because he's going moose hunting in Alaska. I forgive you. I forgive you. Mark Hamill. God, what a jackweed. He's I hope he gets visited. I hope that he gets visited by the Secret Service. Hi, Truth Be Told. Hi, Wild Bill West. Hi, all you crazy people, you crazy mother scratchers. Oh, it's such a good day. It's such a good day. Yeah, the president is delivering my remarks right now. I'll have to see what he's talking about and grab some of that audio. What do you think? What do you think, huh? I'm just so, it's just going to be such a great year. It's just going to be such a great year. Oh, my goodness. Let me see what I got here. Hold on. I got to grab some audio. I apologize. Here we go. Here we go. And I got to check on Twitter and see what's going on. Hold on, Twitter. Twitter. Here we go. Over here. President Trump remarks. All right. I got to talk. Pardon me.
About 310 here.
Man, what a day, huh? What a day, what a day, what a day, what a week, what a week, what a week. Supreme Court ruled that racial gerrymandering is not legal. Then, of course, in Tuesday, MAGA kicked butt in the state of Indiana, just kicked out all the rhinos there who went against the president and tried to gerrymander for Democrats and all that. Then yesterday, Tennessee took the Supreme Court decision and got rid of the racially gerrymandered district there that has elected a white liberal Democrat for 20 years and excluded a black female Republican. And there's a real good chance she's going to win that seat. That's certainly racist, right? Isn't that racist? Oh, and then, of course, there's the state of Virginia, where they just threw out the Democrats' attempt to steal the midterms and take away the representation of Republicans in the state of Virginia. And I gotta tell you guys, I've had such a heavy heart since I moved here and all of this happened, and Abigail Schamberger was elected, and then all of the crap that they decided to throw at us with 80 new taxes and gun control restrictions, and then this attempt to take away Republican representation in a state that's about 50-50, and it did a faceplant. And this is what happens when you bed down with evil. This is what happens when you bed down with illegality, and when you're only going to get away with it so far, and then it's going to go down the tubes. It's going to go absolutely down the tubes. Here's Stacey Abrams. Stacey Abrams, by the way, got $2 billion from Joe Biden in graft from green energy nonsense. She was putting apparently in electric stoves where there are gas stoves in trailer parks. She probably replaced 3 stoves. She had no money in the bank account a couple years ago. Then Joe Biden sent her $2 billion of our money. $2 billion.
And what we have to understand is that there are no longer blue states and red states. There are authoritarian states and democracy states.
Yeah. The Democrat states are authoritarian. California.
There are states that do not believe in the right of the people to have a say.
Democrat states.
Who want to aggregate power and foment corruption.
Democrat states. Ohio. Ohio's Republican, but run by Democrats. In California, in New York, in Minnesota.
And there are states that want to guarantee that in this country, we have free and fair elections.
Oh, my God. Democrats do not want free and fair elections.
We have access to the remedies that democracy is supposed to deliver, and that no matter what goes wrong in one part of the country, that the quality of your citizenship does not depend on your zip code and your geography.
Yeah, this is why people are leaving Democrat states for all of the things she just projected on us. And it's not going to work because the evidence is overwhelming. In the opposite, Democrat states are crooked. They steal elections. They are corrupt as hell. I mean, honestly, it's laughable. Conservative comedy on the Ascension because the left can't be taken seriously anymore. You get it now? Second hour of the show right ahead. Mary Walter as well. Don't go anywhere.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Chapter, Medicare Guidance Simplified.
You don't need to live with aches and pains. Visit relieffactor.com today.
to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
And by the grace of God, it is finally Friday, and what a glorious week in America. My goodness, my goodness, my goodness. You had the Supreme Court getting rid of racial gerrymandering, which is a gift. Then you had in Tuesday night in the state of Indiana, rhinos were cleaned out of the state Senate there. And then yesterday, Tennessee got rid of a racially gerrymandered district that had the black district, right? A white liberal for the last almost 20 years in Steve Cohen. And oddly enough, I know you say, oh my gosh, it's so racial and black people won't be able to vote and all that. Turns out now that a black Republican woman is going to win that seat. I mean, that's God's sense of humor. God's going, see, let's play with these Democrats because they're on the wrong side of me. And that's what happened. So there you go. And then, of course, in Virginia, the state Supreme Court threw out the illegal attempt to take away Republican representation from the state that was a colony founded on, and I should say, who started the Revolutionary War because of taxation without representation. Really, again, that's God's sense of humor again. Going, okay, let's really mess with these Democrats. It's remarkable. Oh, and there's some more bad news. Oh, my God. I mean, bad news for Democrats. Actually, it's terrible, terrible, terrible economic news for Democrats, so we need this.
We love to win. Winning, so much winning. It's lots of winning.
Lots of winning.
It's oh so good.
Oh, no, it's a great jobs report. Oh, my God.
This was a big beat for the job market. Look at this. So the U.S. economy adding 115,000 jobs in April. That's almost twice as much as the consensus from economists.
What? Are you saying that Donald Trump has once again defied the experts who predicted badness? That never happens. No, it happens all the damn time. It's just fantastic. My gosh, it's just fantastic. It's glorious. 115,000 jobs, not even government jobs. Joe Biden created government jobs, had 10 people doing one job in the government, and grew the size of the federal government 40%. Did you hear the good news? Lee Zeldin is cutting the EPA by 50%. Well, you're going to die because toxic water or something, and toads are going to change sexes, if you believe Alex Jones. Well, it's going to get weird. Everybody's going to die. It's going to be dirty water. No, actually, it's just a dirty agency. Just a dirty agency. Let me see if I got that audio here. I want to grab that real quick. I was going to stick it in later. That's what she said. But I'm going to go ahead and maybe find it right now. Hold on 1 second. I got so much audio. It's just crazy. Hold on 1 second. Lee Zeldin. Let me look it up over here. I run my own audio in case you didn't know. I know I say that. Here it is. This is the EPA. This is what Lee Zeldin is fixing at the EPA. What a crooked organization it is.
There have been so many opportunities to pursue savings, and when you look at those canceled grants, we're finding examples. Like I had to exchange with Senator Sanders last week at the Senate EPW committee where he was talking about solar for all. I'm like, Senator, we had examples where the grant was going through up to 4 different pass-throughs, where each pass-through entity was getting at least 15% to administer their part of the pass-through. I mean, a lot of this is just inexcusable. The money that gets appropriated, in the name of environmental justice to remediate an environmental issue, but then the dollar goes to an activist group to train other activist groups to come to D.C. and advocate for the next dollar to go to them to go out and be activists. Like, wait, I thought we were spending this dollar to remediate an environmental issue. So, it's about doing more with less. And we have found extraordinary ways to save the taxpayers tens of billions of dollars.
Oh, I just love it. I love it. I knew that we were corrupt. I figured we were at least as corrupt as the former Soviet Union, but the Democrat Party and the swamp Washington, D.C., spreading across the tentacles across the state with abject corruption, looting the treasury to the tune of trillions of dollars while you and I ate crumbs. And you and I worked 2 jobs, and you and I paid a gigantic portion of our check every month for taxes that just did this crap. Oh, my gosh. It is remarkable. Luke Rosiak. Luke Rosiak was on our show earlier this week. In the state of Ohio, a massive scheme involving Somalians, okay? I think we can say that that Somalia is the meth lab trailer park of the world, and most Somalians who come over here are not here to assimilate or love the country, rather to actually steal from us.
Huge segments of the population, mostly immigrant groups from low-trust societies, have enriched themselves at the expense of American taxpayers. They've stolen hundreds of billions of dollars from COVID relief funds and federal programs like Medicaid. If ripping off taxpayers were a contest, Somali refugees would be getting the gold medal.
That's racist.
In Minnesota and Maine, Somalis have been accused of aggressively ripping off autism and early childhood education programs. Much of this has been presented as quid pro quo politics, in which Democrat politicians buy votes by turning a blind eye to scams perpetrated by their supporters. But what if I told you it was happening in red states too?
Yeah, in Ohio, listen to this. A building full of thieves.
In another Cordoba building at 2700 East Dublin, there are 80 companies which collectively billed $73 million to Medicaid and received $23 million from the state of Ohio. 11 companies billed more than $1 million apiece. 2 claim Suite A alone, Continental Home Healthcare Incorporated, led by Dekwa Mohammed, which billed $15 million, and Dynamic Home Healthcare, owned by Saeed Ahmed, who billed $10 million. Bernard Kunoda's Buckeye Health Agency charged $15 million. Down the hall is Omega Home Healthcare Services, which charged taxpayers $11 million. A flyer says it provides services like hair care and homemaking, like cleaning and bed making.
Meanwhile, you can't afford to buy a damned house. You're driving a Toyota Sienna with 160,000 miles on it. That's what I drove. I think we traded in with 220 while Joe Biden was the president. Right at the very beginning there, it was really bad. Here is Luke. He was in this building, and he gets this guy who's in this one of these sketchy, Medicaid LLCs, right? And it turns out the guy who's in this office has been arrested like 40 times. He's a known criminal, and Luke talked to him.
You have more than 30 charges in court. I mean, that's a very long criminal record, and now you're getting paid to be the owner of a company that helps people's health. I mean, you were arrested for assault.
Yes, I do have a lot of records. I was just so dumb, I don't even know what is law. I put in my application, the government, Medicaid, Medicare, they check, they see all my history, and they approve the business to operate.
I mean, you were arrested and you gave a fake name.
Yeah, I gave that false name, even that Ushma name, I gave it. And they charged me with falsification for fake name and stuff.
And now you're the owner of a company that's gotten $1 million from the government. And because the work happens in people's houses, it involves a lot of trust.
You're still asking some questions.
Wow. My mother, we couldn't afford home care for her in her final years. My sister had to do it. And it was hell for her. But she was there. We couldn't afford it. And you got people just lying and, just gathering money to be at home with their relatives, even when their relatives didn't need it. It's so foul, I swear. It's just so agonizing to see this. It's just so sickening, to be quite honest. Sarah Gonzalez was talking to a woman she was going to talk about this. This water park that was going to do Muslim Day, and Greg Abbott apparently shut it down. It was going to happen in Texas. There's a publicly funded water park, and they was going to make it Sharia compliant for a day with Muslims, so you could wear your burkinis and whatever, which is basically a sheet, right, to go to the swimming pool. And Greg Abbott shot that thing down. I wanted a bunch of Hooters waitresses, a bunch of, whoever, to go down wearing burqas, and then in the middle of the whole deal, just take them off and reveal bikinis, just to watch them just shriek. I think that'd be really fun. But they canceled it. But here is Sarah Gonzalez. She's with Blaze Media, and she was talking to this woman who was going to be talking about this this Bikini Day or this Burkini Day or whatever, the Muslim Day. It's been canceled, and then found out that this woman actually is one of those Somalians who owned a Leering Center.
You also run a daycare, I believe, called Excellence Early Leering Center, or at least it's listed on Google that way, and on your website. I think it's also called
They misspelled it.
Leaning Center.
Yeah, a leaning center.
So I'm just wondering, is it appropriate to be in charge of teaching children when you can't spell learning right?
She's not answering.
Okay, she's not frozen because she's blinking.
Wow.
She's just mad.
Yeah.
No, I'm not mad, but I am acknowledging the typo, and I think that's a more appropriate way to say it. Are you trying to let me know that I have a typo on my website?
I know you're almost out of time, so I want to respect your time here. I also want to know how the daycare is operational if your right to transact business was involuntarily ended in Texas.
What?
Wow. Oh, this is the feces hitting the fan. This is what we've been dreaming about for a very long time. This is what we have been dreaming about. Here's one. Oh, Luke Ruziak. Listen to this. Listen to this. This is another case of illiterate people stealing.
It's clear that nobody has been entering this business, JLL Home Healthcare LLC, whose motto for some reason is steaming to assist. Its door doesn't even have a doorknob.
Their motto is steaming to exist.
It was incorporated by Kofi Adoma, who also owns a trucking business called JLL Transportation and Logistics. So they're running multiple businesses at once.
Yeah, this is the feces hitting the fan. This is the retribution we've been talking about, and it's more delicious than I could have ever imagined. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Hey guys, it's Carson. If you are on Medicare or about to be, you could be overpaying right now and never know it. Here's why. Millions of seniors are in a plan that doesn't fit their needs. Because Medicare is complicated, many brokers just steer people into plans that pay them the most. That's absurd. That is so absurd, I decided to write a little slogan for it. Medicare sure ain't fair, and choosing a plan is a bear. Pick a plan with a broker if you dare, and you might end up with a scare. Okay, listen, it's a little rough. You need to know about Chapter. They're the only national advisor that looks at every plan in the country, matches your doctors, your prescriptions, and your situation to a plan that fits your needs. With Chapter, you'll see what a plan actually costs when you need it, not just the $0 some plans advertise. Your doctors are covered and your prescriptions are too. You'll have confidence you have the coverage you need. A call with Chapter is free, takes about 20 minutes. If you're turning 65 or are already on Medicare, call 27 Medicare. Again, that's 27 MEDICARE. Call 27 Medicare today.
Two girls that Swalwell groped before. They said
deported. Deported. Deported.
Get them out. Ready? Are you ready? Get them out of here. Get them out of here. Get the hell out of here.
The WCBM 680 mobile app at WCBM.com.
Rejoin.
Poor little Democrats. Are you guys okay today? I came in to check on you. Every time Trump does something good, you guys spaz out. Would you guys shut up and let him work?
There you go. How about that? How about that? You remember when Joe Biden was the president? I don't think he does. But, he got us involved in he invited Russia to invade Ukraine. He said, they can invade a little bit. And then they did, and then they did, and then they did. And we sent them hundreds of billions of our tax dollars. Hundreds of billions of our tax dollars. They won't even give us an itemized list of where it went. But a lot of yachts were purchased with Ukrainian names on them. In the anyway, yeah. So and also Ukraine's one of the most corrupt countries in the world. It's where the world's oligarchs go to launder their money. That said, this is Joe Biden talking about a war and what it's doing to gas prices. And the media didn't say anything, because Donald Trump, is freeing the people of Iran and ridding the world of a cancerous lesion that has spread terror throughout the entire world, waging war against humanity for 47 years. And we've only been doing this for like 65 days or so, right? And gas prices, the oil, I think, didn't make it over 120, got up in the low 100s, right? Yeah, and it's on its way back down again. But here's Joe Biden.
The war has pushed prices up. They could go as high as $200 a barrel, some analysts think. How long is it fair to expect American drivers and drivers around the world to pay that premium for this war?
As long as it takes.
As long as it takes, man. As long as it takes. Nobody said, what about gas prices? Nobody said anything about affordability when Joe Biden was at least somebody was pulling his strings, but the president. Isn't that remarkable? We've been at this 65 days. Gas prices went up a little. Yeah, it sucks, man. In the $4 range where I was, I think I paid around $4 the other day. I saw somebody on the chat at $4.50. I understand. It's awful. I went through it when Joe Biden was the president. Remember when it was even higher than it is now? It was. I remember filling my car and it was $95. $95. And then a few months ago it was $38. Now it's back up again. It's in the $60, $70 range. But it's going to come down, and guess what? We're also cleaning up the scourge of terror around the world, and we're going to see a millennial peace in the Middle East. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Yet yesterday, an ABC reporter decided to pitch a fit because Donald Trump is cleaning up the reflecting pool in front of the Lincoln Memorial. So it's a cesspool. It really has become a cesspool. It's awful. It is absolutely awful. And it was going to cost $300 million and take 3 years. Donald Trump got some pool contractors in there. He's doing it in 3 weeks and for $2 million. And here is this reporter, because ABC and all of the letter networks, the coverage of Donald Trump is always negative for everything, closing the border, for building the ballroom, and all of this, even if it's good, for lowering prescription drug prices with Trump IRX, for this company that is giving away the medicine to make deaf children hear again. You didn't hear that story, did you? No, ABC didn't report on the miracle of hearing being given to children who can't hear. That happened a couple weeks ago. Yeah. So she decides to go after him on we got a war going on here. Well, what do you want to spend the money on this reflecting pool? And he had her rear end for lunch.
War in Iran. Why focus on all these projects right now?
You know why? Because
why focus on all these projects right now?
Because I want to keep our country beautiful and safe. Beautiful also.
Yeah.
This place was a disgusting place. It was Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial, and we had a terrible disgust. I don't know, you probably don't see dirt, but I do. And you walk down this pond, if you would have walked down, they'll tell you better than anybody. They had to take 11 or 12 truckloads of garbage out of that lake, out of that water, and it sat there for years like that. And that's not what our country is about. Our country is about beauty, cleanliness, safety, great people, not a filthy capital. It's such a stupid question you ask. We're fixing up the reflecting pond to the Lincoln Memorial, the Washington Monument, and you say, why are you fixing it up? Because you can understand dirt maybe better than I can, but I don't allow it. This is one of the worst reporters. She's with ABC Fake News, and she's a horror show. She's saying, why would you bother fixing this up? Why would I bother taking 11 or 12 truckloads of filth out of the water in front of the Lincoln Monument? That's what made our country great. Beauty made our country. People made our country.
Yeah, we're doing this trip to D.C. October 25th through the 29th, and I can't wait for you to see this city, man. It is so glorious. It is so beautiful, guys. Oh, my goodness. I think there might be spaces available still. Go to travelwithrob.net. Travelwithrob.net. I just found a very dear friend of mine. She was my girlfriend back in 1990, and she changed my life. She's a wonderful woman, and she's going to be coming with her husband. I'm looking forward to meeting him. They're going to be coming for the trip. Travelwithrob.net. Greg Gutfeld was talking about all of these Democrats who, like all of my friends and a good share of my family, who have gotten rid of them in their lives because of Donald Trump.
You know, the difference between Dems and Republicans come down to one thing. They apply moral value to political preference.
I've got friends here in D.C. They were my friends for 12 years, a dozen New Years, helped raise their kids, thousands of meals. They haven't invited me up to the swimming pool this summer, where I spent every day in the summer for about 12 years.
Yeah. And that would make sense if your political party praised Hitler or protected murderers and sex fiends.
Listen.
But the mistake is, it's not the Republicans. But they've always compared Republicans to some kind of existential threat. They've done it with climate change. They've done it with compassion. They do it with Trump. That allows them to label us as amoral.
Yeah.
But we know, and Harold would agree, Republicans are not evil. We have a different path to the pursuit of happiness and serenity in people's lives, safety and security. I don't care that you hate Trump. Why should you care that I like him?
Yes.
The answer would be because he's evil. He's like a Nazi.
Which makes us that.
Well, this is where the whole thing falls apart.
That's what you're calling us.
What does that mean to me if I'm your Republican friend who voted for Trump? That you would believe I would support a Nazi. We've been friends for years. I've been through this. If you're my friend, you have to realize that's illogical, because how were we friends for 10 or 20 years and now you found out I was a fascist? How did that happen? You knew I was a right-winger in the 80s, in the 90s, and now all of a sudden you're like, oh, I can't be seen with him. So the key moment of your in the self-realization of a liberal should be, if your dad loves Trump and you love your dad, shouldn't you maybe question whether your dad doesn't love a Hitler figure?
Yeah.
And therefore maybe Trump is not a Hitler figure? And that flaw in your thinking should put into question the reliability on your filter on your life.
Yes.
That this thing is not working. No. It's not translating. If I love my dad and my dad voted for Trump, but I think Trump is Hitler, there's something wrong with my logic. Your dad is not a Nazi lover. This is why they break off relationships.
Boom, 100%. It's shameful. And then they decide that boys can become girls and girls can become boys. That's the nuts, okay? That's the Hitlerian. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Mary Walter next. Hey guys, it's Carson for Ghost Bed. I am sleeping better than I've ever slept in my entire life. I used to think a mattress was just furniture, but I got a Ghost Bed. Ghost Bed doesn't build mattresses like furniture. They build engineered sleep systems. Their beds are serious health equipment. Beds designed for relief and recovery, not looks. Your body should be healing while you sleep, not fighting for comfort. I noticed immediately. My first night on a Ghost Bed, I slept for 10 hours. If you're waking up stiff, tossing and turning, sleeping hot, even reaching for a pain reliever before bed, hoping tonight will be different, that's not aging. That's your mattress talking. Here's another thing I love about Ghost Bed. You get 101 nights to try it at home. If you don't like the difference, just send it back risk-free. GhostBed is currently having their Memorial Day sale plus an extra 10% off for my audience. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson and use promo code Carson. Ghostbed.com/Carson. Promo code Carson for the sleep of a lifetime. My entire life, my betting has just been betting. I got the least expensive stuff I could find. Have you noticed your sheets slipping off the corners lately? Maybe your pillows just don't feel supportive anymore. Most people actually keep their bedding way longer than they should. It slowly wears down and you don't realize how much it's affecting your sleep. That's why I upgraded to Boll and Branch. They make everything your bed needs. Their signature organic cotton sheets, pillows, blankets, and comforters are all designed to be breathable, incredibly soft, and get better over time. Most people start out with their signature sheets. I added the waffle blanket, and now the whole bed just feels amazing. The moment you get Boll and Branch is the moment you discover the difference. Upgrade your sleep with Boll and Branch. Get 15% off your first order plus free shipping at bollandbranch.com. That's BOLL and branch.com/Rob Carson. Promo code Rob Carson. That's Boll and Branch, BOLLAND branch.com/Rob Carson. Code Rob Carson to unlock 15% off. Exclusions apply. Hey guys, it's Rob Carson for Relief Factor. There's a reason why at my age I can still crush it at the gym, carry an armchair by myself, or do any home improvement project without pain during or after, and that's Relief Factor. When it comes to supplements, the two things that matter most, it works and you trust it. Relief Factor was created by a combat-wounded Vietnam veteran. He decided to become a doctor simply to help people, to heal them. If pain is holding you back, find out why so many people, including me, make Relief Factor a part of their daily routine. Try the 3-week quick start today. Go to relieffactor.com. That's relieffactor.com. Or call 800-4RELIEF. That's 800-4RELIEF for Relief Factor.
But there's something about Mary that they don't know. Mary. There's just something about Mary.
There is something about Mary. And it's nothing weird. It's not like she's got a relative tied up in her attic or anything weird like that. Nothing like that. That there is something about her, and she joins us on the Newsmax hotline. Hello, how are you? Mary, are you there? Okay, well, get her back on the air. See what's going on there. Sometimes these things. There's something about Mary. She's on a phone that doesn't work. There you go. That's something about Mary. Yeah, try to get her on there, Brian, and see what happens. We've got much to talk to about things with Mary, including, did you know that some of those UFO files are going to be unveiled today and have been unveiled today? And so we're going to talk about that because it gets freaky. It gets really freaky. Just tell me whenever you got her there, Brian. I've been doing a lot of research on this. And I've spent a good deal of my life studying astronomy and physics. That's what I enjoy reading, oddly enough. It's weird, right? And I have been researching, and I have discovered in the last couple of months the thing called the Fermi paradox.
She's back.
Which says that we haven't been visited by UFOs. And I'll explain that with Mary Walter. Mary Walter, hello!
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm in a remote area with very iffy cell phone service.
That's no problem. So I saw you sent me a picture. It looks very bucolic there, lakeside, wherever that is. My God.
It is very cold.
Oh, is it really?
Because it's cold in the Northeast. We had a frost warning last night.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, and you probably put your feet on your husband's calves in bed, and he goes, ugh! Do you do that?
No, I wear socks.
So I want to talk a little bit. There's a lot of good news today. You got good news out of Tennessee. Oddly enough, racial gerrymandering has been gotten rid of, and because of that, a black woman is going to be elected as a Republican, and they're getting rid of an old white guy.
Yeah, it's so funny. They're represented by a white Jewish guy, and they're upset.
I know. I said God has a sense of humor, God has a sense of humor, things like this. Then we got in the state of Virginia where I moved to, and I was just bummed out about living in Virginia with Abigail Scambergler and that racial, or that not racial.
You moved it. Wait, you moved there anyway.
But no, she got elected after I moved there.
Yeah, but you had to see that coming, dude.
No, I did not. Nope, he knew.
Well, everybody else did.
Well, whatever, anyway. Do you really need to lay a guilt trip on me this early in the segment?
No, I'm just saying, but who chooses to move to Northern Virginia? I mean, who chooses to move to New Jersey?
Well, if I had to choose to go to Virginia or D.C. or Maryland, I've been proven right. Let me just put it that way. The Supreme Court tossed out that gerrymandering of representation of Republicans. We had the Supreme Court getting rid of racial gerrymandering. You had the rhino butt kicking in Indiana. Tony Kinnett was quite thrilled about it. It's been a good week. It's been a good week while you're on vacation.
It has been.
Yeah.
It has been a very good week, so I can't complain.
No, and I think it's going to be good for the Democrat Party because the Democrat Party is actually going to have a sane platform that people can vote for, rather than relying on stealing elections, rather than early voting, rather on racial gerrymandering and all this. They're going to have to actually be responsive to their voters, and I think it's actually a very good thing. It's a very good thing.
Well, I think by running Graham Plattner, they are being responsive to their voters.
Oh my gosh! Now, have you noticed? have you noticed they're ghosting him? Have you noticed this? And I think they're kind of wanting to do what they did to Eric Swalwell, but the what's her name? The other candidate, the Republican who pulled out. I'm drawing a blank on her name. They don't have a backup. They don't have a backup right now, and so they're ghosting Graham Plattner all of a sudden. And
he's still going to be their candidate. They're still going to run a Nazi.
Well, yeah, they are. But I think they're distancing themselves from him greatly. I don't hear. Do you hear Chris Van Hollen this week? Do you hear? Where's Adam Schiff? Where are all these Republicans supporting Graham Plattner? They're not there at all anymore.
Well, those people are Democrats. Schiff and those guys are Democrats. But they're going to ghost him, but they'll still take the seat if he wins.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he's going to win.
And they'll still proudly have the first self-proclaimed Nazi.
Yeah.
Win.
Well, I don't think he's going to get elected. I really don't think he's going to get elected. I think they really screwed the pooch with this guy. But anyway, let's talk about other stuff. I was mentioning, the UFO stuff was going to come out today, the first round of UFO stuff that from the Trump administration being declassified. And I was explaining how the last few months, and I don't want to get too esoteric here, but there's a thing called the Fermi paradox, which says that the universe is too big for life to have actually visited us. Because, I mean, it's massive. If you think it came from another galaxy, it's impossible because the Milky Way is like 100,000 light years across. And then the next galaxy is like millions of light years away. And so we would never cross paths. It would never happen. That's the Fermi paradox. That said, what have you discovered? What have you discovered today? I heard the FBI revealed that the Nazis built a secret UFO.
They did.
Wow.
Right? Wow. Crazy. And it wasn't big. I think it was like 21 feet around. And it was remotely controlled. And
It was a drone!
Some guy,
it was a drone!
Basically. Exactly. But it was based on UFOs. Which, by the way, they're not UFOs anymore. They're now UAPs. Like, I hate when they change the acronym for something. Like, I hate when they change the letters. Like, why did we have to go
couldn't we just stuck with DWI instead of DUI? What the hell?
Exactly. In New Jersey, we still call it a DWI.
A DWI.
But like, I'm going to say UFO, but then everybody goes, oh, that's because you're old. And I'm like,
oh, shut up.
Oh, crap.
Whatever. You know what? I can't do anything about my chronology, and you can't do anything about your intelligence. So we're at an impasse, honestly.
Exactly. Right. See, between the two of us, we actually make a whole person.
A 200-year-old person.
There you go. But so Graham Plattner's people, to go back, tie it in a bow, actually engineered a UFO in 1942.
In 1942, multiple pages concerning a tip about a possible Nazi UFO craft. Yes. Got to tell you, those Nazis were pretty damned inventive. They're pretty damned inventive.
It's like a lot of criminals. If they would just use their brains for good, they could own the world. But instead, they use their brains trying to figure out how not to work.
Yes. During this period, he observed an aircraft described it was saucer-shaped, 20 feet in diameter, radio-controlled, mounted several jet engines around an exterior portion of the craft. That's just crazy. That's nuts. Do you think, this doesn't immediately dispel the possibility of alien life, but do you believe that aliens have visited the planet? Leaving Rose DeLauro out of the equation.
That was good. 100%.
Do you think so? Really?
Of course. We've had this conversation before. And what did I say to you last time? And you're going to go, what are those? Didn't I talk about the Nazca lines? The only way you can see them is from the air, and yet they built them, and they're like miles and miles long, and they make like a bird or a human or whatever.
Farmers also can carve in the ground, "Will you marry me?" And you can see it from an airplane.
Yes, but we also have drones and things like that to let them know. So I'm going, 100%.
You think so? Okay. What about Bigfoot?
Yeah.
No, Bigfoot actually. They just found out that the hair that they gathered in the 1960s was deer. It was from a deer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they just found that out. It was declassified, by the way. It was.
Oh, wow.
So there you go.
Well, I will say that we have friends who are Bigfoot hunters.
Are they? Oh my God!
They love it.
Do you want to admit this? Wait, you got friends who are Bigfoot hunters?
I do.
Shut the front door.
The whole family goes, and they go out to Ohio. Like, Ohio is apparently a hotspot, and they go out to Ohio. And you sleep like in a camper. Everybody else sleeps in a tent, but they're sleeping. She won't sleep in a tent, so you sleep in a camper. And like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning is like prime Bigfoot hunting time.
Wow, that is phenomenal. Well, this explains a lot about the people you run with.
You're not the only crazy friend I have.
Yes. So coming up, we've got nurseries with racist toddlers. We're going to talk about this on the other side of the break with Mary Walter. Mary Walter Radio, by the way. Look up Mary Walter Radio, okay? Let's take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show.
Harford County.
Chris Stapleton for you. Love, 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 love. Chris Stapleton's amazing. He does a lot of collaborating with other people, and he's remarkable. Remarkable. Mary Walter Radio, if you want to check it out, is on the Newsmax hotline, one of our unusual suspects. And now we know she's even more unusual because she has friends who are Bigfoot hunters.
Mm-hmm.
Real?
Like I said, you're not my only weird friend.
Do they believe all of this?
You know it's right. That's why you couldn't respond.
Alex Jones is right about everything. So let's talk. Oh, I want to mention something because you live in the Northeast. You live in Jersey, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Zoran Mondami wants to make the death tax 50%.
Mm-hmm.
That is freaking unbelievable. It's like 16% now. He wants to make the death tax 50%. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, honestly, is he intentionally just trying to get people to leave? Is that the deal?
I honestly, there is a theory that he wants to drive out, the upper middle class, drive those people out, and he, wants to bring in, his socialist paradise, right? It's interesting because Hochul is kind of not giving on the budget, which I really thought she would, but she's got to get elected. She's got to get reelected, right? Mm-hmm. Blakeman is catching up on her. I don't think Blakeman will win, but he is catching up on her. And he is a Republican in a Democrat district on Long Island, right? Mm-hmm. So, but he doesn't have the name recognition that she does, and people are stupid. So I think what she does is she tells him no on the budget, and then when she gets reelected, then she pushes the state legislature to give him everything he wants. We shall see. He needs to do a Spencer Pratt. I mean, honestly, look what he's done. Look what he's doing. My God almighty. I mean, right? Unbelievable. California has no voter ID. You want to go vote? Yeah. Oh, he's putting out some great. He's putting out some great videos, man. He is exposing all sorts of stuff. He's got a new video about this Raman. What's her name? She's running for city council. What they do is they flip properties for homeless shelters. So they'll buy a building for $11 million, then sell it to a nonprofit or whatever for $27 million and pocket the cash. Yep. Unbelievable. They're laundering the money. This is why they're so upset about USAID going away. Can I ask you a question? Yeah. What's going on in Ukraine? I have not heard Democrats scream about Ukraine, but since we took USAID away, have you noticed that since we stopped sending money to Ukraine, Democrats don't care anymore? It's just kind of weird, isn't it? Yeah, it is. The Democrat Party is the largest criminal crime family in the history of the world. La Cosa Nostra sits there and goes, holy crap, we had to sell cocaine. We had to shake down people for protection money, for God's sake. All we needed to do was open a Leering center. Exactly. And it's just, but a lot of this, it's finally coming out, Mary. The feces is finally hitting the fan. What I fear is because of John Thune, that the SAVE Act is not going to get passed, and people are going to be so mad that they're going to stay home and they're not going to vote in the midterm. I don't believe that. And Democrats. I don't believe that one little bit. I think we're so motivated, it's not even funny. I said I fear it. A lot. You also have friends who go hunt Bigfoot, so honestly. Like I said, you are not my only weird friend. What do you do? What kind of urine do you use to attract Bigfoot? Because they do that with deer. The hunters go out and they put deer urine on them. Where do you get Bigfoot urine? I have no idea. Yeah, they don't do that. They don't do that. Okay, all right. So nurseries urged to report racist toddlers. This is happening where again? In Wales. Wales. Mm-hmm. So England is lost. Oh my God! Well, no, because Nigel Farage just won. I know, but they did the same thing there that they did here, but to a greater extent. Yeah. With allowing all of these people to come from third world countries, flood into their country. They don't assimilate, and because they don't assimilate, they demand everyone else assimilate around them to their culture. And Keir Starmer and the liberal Brits gave them what they wanted. So,
so you've got a kid, if you've got a white kid in a daycare center and he acts whatever toward a kid of color, which toddlers don't give a rat's behind about, you can call 999 and get the emergency services to come out and go after this little toddler for behaving untoward and blaming racism.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
And all of the staff have to explore and acknowledge their white privilege and what ways in which they are privileged because of their skin color, all this other stuff. It's insane. This is why I say England is lost.
I don't know. I'm not giving up. I'm more of an optimist than you. And I certainly feel very optimistic about what's happening in our country. I understand where you're coming from in Great Britain, but I think a lot of people are fed up, and Farage is on the way to becoming the prime minister. I think, anyway, that's going to do it for the show. I've enjoyed the conversation today about Bigfoot and everything. It's fantastic.
Well, this one quick, and does it make you feel good to know that you're not my only weird friend?
It is kind of nice, and it's also surprising that you have friends. I mean, it really is. It's just kind of crazy.
Well, that was just not nice.
All right. So tell everybody where they can find you, by the way. Mary Walter Radio, just Google it, but go ahead.
Yes, Mary Walter Radio tomorrow. I will be on Newsmax at 2:40 in the afternoon Eastern time. And then look for my live cast on YouTube and Rumble and Getter and Apple Podcast, Spotify, and Spreaker. Look for Mary Walter Radio.
All right. Have a glorious weekend with your vacation, and hopefully you might be able to go ice skating this Saturday.
You know what? We went to Walmart, and I was like, I may buy long underwear.
Oh, my God. That's fantastic. All right, let's take a break and come back. Talk to you soon. God bless, girl. We'll talk. This is the Rob Carson Show. Hi, kids. Might have to do a crazy cat lady update next. What do you think? Should we do a crazy cat lady update next? I think that's what we'll do next, is a crazy cat lady update. Let me find it. Hold on one second. Give me a second. Here we are. Okay, here we are. Hi. Hello. Are you having fun? Are you having a good time? I'm having a good time. Kathy. Hello, Kathy. Talking about Dims and Fauci. Joseph Dawson. Hello, hello, hello. Trump literally got all his boosters. Really? Is that the case? He did? You know, a lot of people did. I didn't get any boosters. I didn't get the shot. I said there's something weird about it. He probably did it because, you know, they were recommending it. There were people recommending him take it and all of that stuff. So I don't even know. Joseph Dawson, you're a troll, by the way. And by the way, Joseph Dawson, the inflation went up to 9% with Joe Biden in office, and you're a fool. If you're 62 or older, you still have a mortgage. It doesn't have is flat. This is market fear. A lot of people hear reverse mortgage and never really look into it. So they keep making that payment month after month. But it doesn't have to be that way. A reverse mortgage can pay off the loan. Anyway, should I get rid of Joseph Dawson? Should I get rid of him? Should I toss him? Should I? I don't like lies, so I might have to get rid of Joseph Dawson. Oh, did he go? Is he already gone? Also, I don't see him. Interesting. All right, let's go over to Rumbly Roo, Dookie Bear. Sport Tech, I talked to you. You're going to be going moose hunting. Maybe you should go Bigfoot hunting. Maybe you should go to Bigfoot hunting. What do you think? I think so. Yeah. The guy over on Joseph was over on YouTubeage, and he was lying. So, whatever his name was, he's no longer on the chat. Oh, I got to talk. Diggy. Let's have one. Come on. So, I just heard John Paul Jones doing collaboration. What the heck was that? Over the Hill, Far Away? I'll have to think about it. Sorry to mislead you. It showed up on my Spotify playlist. It was John Paul Jones playing with somebody. And Led Zeppelin, was it When the Levee Breaks? It was When the Levee Breaks. It was When the Levee Breaks. Which, by the way, is an old blues song that Led Zeppelin reinvented, like Elvis Presley reinvented blues and gospel, combined them with country and made rockabilly and then rock and roll. So there you go. I know these things because, you know, I love music. Time for a crazy cat lady update. This is a reformed crazy cat lady who moved to Costa Rica and realized it was crappy. She moved because Donald Trump became the president, realized it's a crappy place to live.
If you're an American who is considering leaving the country to move somewhere else, make sure that the location you choose isn't based off of fear and lack mentality. I regret moving to Costa Rica. It's a beautiful country. I love the nature and wildlife. But moving to a third world country where I don't know the language,
you dummy.
I don't have any connections,
open a Leering Center,
resources or opportunities, that didn't make my life any easier by any means. I was just so scared of what's going on in America politically.
Nothing to be afraid of.
That I was in fight or flight. I was like, how am I going to afford to survive? Like, how am I going to find a place to live? Like, I was freaking out. And then I came here and made my life so much harder. And now I'm trying to go back, and I just wish I didn't leave in the first place.
Wow,
and it's so weird.
That is just really, that's just really crazy. You moved from the greatest country in the world for irrational fear, inspired by insane people like Rosie O'Donnell. It's really kind of dumb, We got a great country, and nothing to be afraid of. You can stay if you want. I don't care if you come back. Jim Gossett.
Well, they have a lot of cats, and they're all Democrats. We call them Karen. They have a whiny voice. They are all pro-choice and mostly barren.
And they talk up. When they talk up.
They're cat ladies. Whoa, whoa, whoa. They're cat ladies. Talking about some miserable ladies.
Made Costa Rica their litter box.
Who have clearly lost their minds. These Karens don't like ice. They often pay a price, mistakes they're making.
Yeah, try to run over an ice agent, you get shot. It happens.
Karenism is their curse. Could go to jail or worse for their law breaking.
You're not a martyr, you're just an idiot.
They're cat ladies. Don't have a child, they're cat ladies.
Living in Costa Rica.
Talking about some miserable ladies. Who are out of their minds.
All righty. So there's our crazy cat lady update of the day. I love that bit. Don't you love that bit? I just love that bit. It's fantastic. On the way, we're going to be talking to Christian Toto about Mark Hamill. He's in some deep agua, among other things. Also, some amazing fraud in L.A. involving homelessness. I know it's a big surprise. And one of the L.A. mayor candidates benefited from it. She toast. Don't go anywhere.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Chapter, Medicare Guidance Simplified.
You don't need to live with aches and pains. Visit relieffactor.com today.
right now. You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is hour number 3 of the Rob Carson Show, and as I always like to say, by the grace of God, it is finally Friday. Finally. Friday. What a week it has been. What a week it has been. Started off with the Supreme Court saying no to racial gerrymandering Tuesday. Rhinos got defeated, destroyed in the state of Indiana. And then, of course, Tennessee yesterday, they got rid of the racially gerrymandered district in Memphis, where a white Jewish guy, Democrat, has been in charge for almost 20 years. And despite the fact that this is supposedly racist, there's the real opportunity that a much maligned black Republican woman will win the seat. God has a sense of humor. And then, of course, we find out today that Abigail Scambergler and the evil Democrats in Richmond cannot gerrymander the state and get rid of Republican representation because the Supreme Court in the state said, no, that what you did was illegal. What you did was illegal. But the great thing is, you ready? What do I like to say? The left exposes its flank so we can kick its D-D-D, right? That's what I say. And they did, and they did, and they did. Now we know what we're dealing with. Now we know exactly who the Democrats are, no matter what. You cannot believe what they say. You cannot believe her. She said she was she campaigned as a moderate, and then she got into office. A lot of people said, cool, and just went bananas. Marxist bananas. 80 new taxes. 80 new taxes. Just taxing because there isn't a tax on something. That's what they're doing. They're literally looking at things going, what can we tax that is not taxed now? That's it. They have had a $2.3 billion budget surplus with the previous governor, Glenn Youngkin, who supported a candidate who had no chance of winning, just a terrible candidate with the personality of an armadillo. Sorry, this is the way it was. Terrible gubernatorial candidate. And then what happens? Abigail Scambergler, she goes in, and then they just unveil this unholy, plan for the state to turn it wicked left, take away gun rights, all of these things. And as I like to say, it's not gun control legislation, it's gun suggestion, because I would not follow it if I were a Virginian. I'd say, screw you, I'm going to get whatever. I'm going to get whatever. It doesn't matter. They're not enough police in the state to go after you. Honestly, I'm not, do what you do. But you cannot just come in and say, we're going to make this illegal. It was legal yesterday under the Second Amendment. We're going to make it illegal. No, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. Here's Harmy Dillon, actually. I'll just throw this in here because I was kind of, she was talking to John Solomon because they're doing this crap in Denver where they take away what they call assault rifles, even though you ask a Democrat what they are, they wouldn't know what the hell they are, to be quite honest. But she's going after it, and this isn't going to stand in Virginia.
So first of all, I'm really excited about this. I want to thank the president for setting the tone at the beginning of his administration and having an executive order that made clear that the Second Amendment is a first-class right in the United States. And both Pam Bondi and Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche have fully backed that up. And so we demanded that Denver end its criminalization of its citizens owning, let's just use a shorthand, AR-15s, semi-automatic rifles, and a number of other firearms that are in common use in the United States. And they said no, in a rather terse letter yesterday afternoon, sued them this morning in federal court. And we intend to make sure that citizens of Denver have the same rights as citizens of the rest of America. And we do have other cities like this. District of Columbia also has a similar ban. We sued them already.
Love it.
And
Love it.
we will be absolutely looking for other opportunities. And there are other types of issues as well. But I think the AR-15 ban is one that really is a kind of low-hanging fruit because the Supreme Court held in a 9-0 opinion in the Smith & Wesson case that the AR-15 is the most commonly owned and operated rifle in the United States. And so, when you add that statistic to the ruling in Bruin,
there you go. Yeah, so it's the most common, and you can't make it illegal over here when it's legal over here. There you go. And oh my God, the people of Washington, D.C. will be able to defend themselves in their homes. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that just crazy? Woo, man. Virginia's new Democrat governor teases possibility of a tax on gym memberships. Why the hell? Why? Because there's not one? What's it going to do? Is it going to encourage people to get fit? I mean, how stupid? How bloody stupid are you? And streaming services, too. Just because there isn't a tax on it. She's a lame duck. She's a lame duck. We have to make sure that she is a lame duck. That's it. We have to make sure that she is a lame duck. She exposed her flank. Now we kick her butt. There you go. What else am I going to talk about here? I've got some good stuff here I want to talk about. I want to talk about California. California, how crazy is California? Spencer Pratt's running for the mayor of L.A. out there, and he uncovered something about one of the city, Nitya Raman. And she's not the good Raman. She's like the cheap $5, $5 for $1 Raman that you ate in college, and it hasn't gone up in price since. They still sell it for $5 for $1 on sale, $4 for $1 regular. But anyway, she's kind of a she's apparently is involved in a scam where developers flip properties for homeless people. Listen to Spencer Pratt.
You know how Nithya, Manchurian candidate, laundered taxpayer money
Manchurian candidate. That's good. I like Top Ramen, but okay.
Into her own homeless nonprofit?
Yeah.
Well, both she and Karen Basura would love for you to forget the Shelby fraud when developer Stephen Taylor bought a property for $11 million, and then just a few weeks later, he was able to flip it to an LA homeless nonprofit for $27.3 million.
Wow.
And this is the scam that these corrupt politicians always...
So you buy a property, you're buddies with whatever politician, and then you flip it and triple the price and get money from an NGO that is funded by the government. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing?
Ron, they pay above market prices, so that way their fraudulent nonprofits can launder taxpayer money. Why? Well, because it's not their money. It's yours. Yeah. And this is what they always do with OPM. And to cover up the fraud, they have appraised.
Oh, I hope, God, he gets to become the mayor. Oh, my gosh. And I hope that Steve Hilton becomes the governor. It's going to change. People are going to move back to that state. They're going to save that state from destruction. This is a story from CBS. CBS News. There's a guy who's doing... yeoman's work with regard to exposition of fraud and whatnot. Mayor Bass made some misstatements and lies about the LA fire, saying that, I felt so bad. I was living in, I was over in Africa when it happened. I really wanted to be here and all this. And here's a little bit of this reporter clearing up some of the things she said during the debate that were fraudulent.
LA's first mayoral debate got off to a heated start.
She's an incredible liar.
No name calling,
She just
please.
lied, though.
But a few exchanges caught my attention because they touched directly on a year of reporting I've been working on the LA fires, being published by Simon & Schuster next week. So let's fact check some of what was said, beginning with the wind.
The winds in the Pacific Palisades never reached higher than 40 miles per hour. For those first 6 hours, they didn't go above 27 miles per hour.
He talked about the winds. That is just completely inaccurate. If that were accurate, then the planes would have been able to fly.
Weather modeling reviewed for my reporting shows winds in the Palisades during those first several hours of the fire were in fact under 40 miles per hour.
Wow.
Planes could and did fly.
Yeah.
The stronger winds intensified later in the evening, and that distinction matters because the earliest hours of a wildfire are often the most critical for containment.
That's true. That's
Second,
true.
Mayor Bass's trip to Ghana.
Listen.
She addressed this directly.
It was one of the worst moments of my life to not be here when my city needed me. And it didn't matter where I was or why I was away.
But according to multiple sources with direct knowledge of the emergency response, it did matter where the mayor was. My reporting found Mayor Bass knew about the dangerous weather before leaving for Ghana. Communications to emergency managers described her as only being, quote, out of state. And while she was overseas, her office continued posting on social media images and videos that appeared to place her in Los Angeles. Sources told me the lack of clarity created confusion during the opening hours of the fire. Fire Chief Kristen Crowley did not initially know the mayor was even in Ghana, and according to sources and records reviewed for the book, after Bass was briefed by the chief on the growing fire, she still attended a cocktail reception in Ghana and did not respond for more than an hour to messages from Los Angeles officials offering and asking for help during that critical stretch of the fire's expansion. This isn't about politics, it's reporting. And as the fire becomes a part of the mayoral race, voters are likely to learn a lot more about those first critical hours.
Now, this is posted on CBS, CBS News on Twitter. I don't have the guy's name. I'm going to find out who that guy is. And I'm going to, when his book, I guess he's got a book coming out about the fires, and we'll try to get him on the show. But there you go. I mean, honestly, you've got two other candidates, Spencer Pratt and these two absolute corrupt communists who live in mansions, and he's living in an Airstream trailer on the lot where his house used to be. 10,000 homes destroyed during the fire. 10 have been rebuilt in a state that had a high-speed rail was going to cost $30 billion. It's now $230 billion, and they haven't laid a damn bit of track. What a corrupt crap hole California has become, and I'm hoping this is the baptism by fire that it needs, and I think it's going to happen. Let's take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show. Hey guys, it's Carson. If you are on Medicare or about to be, you could be overpaying right now and never know it. Here's why. Millions of seniors are in a plan that doesn't fit their needs. Because Medicare is complicated, many brokers just steer people into plans that pay them the most. That's absurd. That is so absurd, I decided to write a little slogan for it. Medicare sure ain't fair, and choosing a plan is a bear. Pick a plan with a broker if you dare, and you might end up with a scare. Okay, listen, it's a little rough. You need to know about Chapter. They're the only national advisor that looks at every plan in the country, matches your doctors, your prescriptions, and your situation to a plan that fits your needs. With Chapter, you'll see what a plan actually costs when you need it, not just the $0 some plans advertise. Your doctors are covered and your prescriptions are too. You'll have confidence you have the coverage you need. A call with Chapter is free, takes about 20 minutes. If you're turning 65 or already on Medicare, call 27 Medicare. Again, that's 27 MEDICARE. Call 27 Medicare today.
Deported. 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 Get them out. Ready? Are you ready? Get them out of here. Get them out of here. Get the hell out of here.
Them in Harper County.
Gonna rejoin. The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
There you go. Absolutely 100%. What a glorious president he is, by the way. He's just doing a hell of a job. It's magnificent to watch Washington, D.C. become so beautiful, to watch cities like Memphis, crime cut dramatically because Donald Trump sent in the National Guard, and Kash Patel's doing a great job as the FBI director. I mean, we got an all-time record low murder rate we haven't seen in 100 years. So is that being reported at all, by the way? Is it being reported at all? It is really, I said that we've got to be able to get the news out in a vacuum of zero good news reporting by the leftist media, and it's working. And it's working. I told you we got to overwhelm the left with joy and patriotism and faith. And it's working quite beautifully. It is working quite beautifully. The Democrat Party not doing so well. This is Gloria Romero. She is running mate of Steve Hilton. She used to be a Democrat. Here are her thoughts on the Democrat Party and when they became, they did their lurch far left into communism.
The Democrat Socialists of America have taken over the Democrat Party. And I would even go back to a timeline of when Speaker Pelosi was the speaker. We saw the election of what they called the squad. Yep. And rather than taking on the politics, the far left politics at that time, she basically posed as the grandma to these four women who represented far left socialism. I really think that's going to be a historical timeline. And ever since then, the Democrats in the party, those in elected office, have just been so chicken without a backbone to confront what was happening. Yep. I mean, women are birthing people. Yes. It's Mother's Day coming up. No, we are not birthing people. They're taking away our gas stoves. They're trying to impose everything. We do not recognize this party. And that's why I also say, like President Reagan before me, I didn't leave the party. The party left me. And that's why so many, especially Latinos in California, are saying, we welcome MAGA, we welcome Trump, we welcome regime change in California, and we are ready to walk away starting this year.
Yeah, I remember they called women birthing persons and said that men can be women, and the insanity of the insult to women. Honestly, what an insult to women! What an insult to motherhood that you could think you could become a woman at middle age and then become get on the cover of magazines like whatever, Rachel Levine. What an insult. What an insult. Mother's Day is this Sunday. For the first time since my mother passed away, I will not be able to visit her at her graveside. So I'm a little bittersweet. My sister's going to be there. I'm going to mention something real quick here. I had a marriage for a very long time, and she gave me two wonderful children. And we got a divorce last year. No, last year. It was last year. It was real close. But anyway, and, it was really hard. You know this. And it was really hard. But now that it's happened, I know it's for the better. It's for the better. It really is. And I'm grateful to her. I'm grateful to her now. I'm never going to be the ex-husband on the media who makes fun of his ex-wife. I'm never going to be there. My ex-wife is so bad, whatever. That's never going to happen. I wish her bliss for the rest of her life. I really do. I really, really do. There were times I was the greatest husband in the world. There was times I was the worst. And I want her to experience the rest of her life in a delightful and excellent fashion. And I sent her a Mother's Day present that will arrive tomorrow because I owe her for that. I owe her for having our children. And so there you go. I wanted to share that. The bitterness is gone. The anger is gone. The anger disappeared at Christmas, and now it's all gone. And now there's just going to be bliss and blessings for her. There you go. That's kind of a big deal to me. It was when I first moved here, I was go home to the apartment, and I was just so mad, just angry, just by myself in the room. It's all because of her, and I'm doing it, and I go to bed by myself, and I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to do that. I'm turning away from darkness. That's my thing. And I think it's part of the entire process of coming here to Washington, D.C. and bringing you with me, too, because the country's turning away from darkness as well. It really, really is. For those of you who had children, you mothers, thank you, because it's not an easy thing to do. Men can never relate to the pain you go through, what your body goes through, the trauma of it, the pain of it, and the glory of it. And it's a damn shame that some Democrats think that men can become women, because you're not women. You're not even close to women. Not even close to. It's just ridiculous to think otherwise. Patrick Bet-David interviewed Wes Moore. He's the governor of Maryland. He's not very popular now. I call him the Fresh Prince of Bel Air head. He took a $5 billion surplus and made it a $3 billion deficit. He had the ski bridge that collapsed about a year and a half ago when a tanker ship ran into it. It was going to cost $2 billion. He had it up to $9 billion to get the damn thing. Then they had to fire the contractors in charge of it. So now it's just sitting there. He's terrible, and Maryland is a very corrupt state. Nick Shirley was here. It's about to hit the fan. But anyway, Patrick Bet-David decides to ask this guy if his son decided to change gender before his 18th birthday, what he would do. And he said he'd go with it.
Your son comes in saying he wants to transition. What do you do?
Well, first, it's my son, so I love him regardless, right?
Yeah, duh. Everybody does. That's a gimme.
And he's always going to have my undying.
It's great. Cool.
That's
what we all
That's
feel.
me.
Sure. No, right? It's everybody.
I want to make sure that I'm involved in understanding.
He's thinking. His mind
where
is spinning.
He is, how he's feeling, the way he's feeling.
He's spinning because he's trying to make it sound like something that won't politically damage him. He is a African American man, and this doesn't go real well with the black audience.
Why he thinks it's important.
Yeah.
If this is a journey that he wants to go down, I want him to always be comfortable in his own skin, and I want him to always know that he has a partner in me to help him.
Great.
Along that journey.
Would you advise him to wait till he's 18?
If this is how he is feeling, and I feel like I'm closely tied to him, I'm not going to advise him on something that
you're his dad
feels is
at 14 years old, Wes.
No, I understand it, but what I'm saying is, the most important thing for me is I want him to feel safe in his own skin.
Okay. I've got friends who have someone in their lives who started gender transition at 17. She's 21, and she pees in 2 places now. Yeah, she has urine coming out of 2 places in her body now. They can't fix it, and she's going to be like this the rest of her life. Wes Moore, when your son says he wants to become a woman before his 18th birthday, you need to get him counseling. And if he says, I'm going to kill myself if I can't get a gender transition, then you have to realize what you're dealing with is a mentally ill person who needs help, not puberty blockers, not mutilative surgery. That's the answer to the question. He did not do himself any favors with that answer, I'm telling you. Coming up, the one and only Christian Toto, Hollywood and Toto, talk about Mark Hamill in some serious hot water. He went to the dark side. It didn't work so well. Stick around. Hey guys, it's Rob Carson for Relief Factor. There's a reason why at my age I can still crush it at the gym, carry an armchair by myself, or do any home improvement project without pain during or after, and that's Relief Factor. When it comes to supplements, the 2 things that matter most, it works and you trust it. Relief Factor was created by a combat wounded Vietnam veteran. He decided to become a doctor simply to help people, to heal them. If pain is holding you back, find out why so many people, including me, make Relief Factor a part of their daily routine. Try the 3-week quick start today. Go to relieffactor.com. That's relieffactor.com, or call 800-4RELIEF. That's 800-4RELIEF for Relief Factor. Hey guys, it's Carson for Ghost Bed. I am sleeping better than I've ever slept in my entire life. I used to think a mattress was just furniture, but I got a Ghost Bed. Ghost Bed doesn't build mattresses like furniture. They build engineered sleep systems. Their beds are serious health equipment. Beds designed for relief and recovery, not looks. Your body should be healing while you sleep, not fighting for comfort. I noticed immediately. My first night on a Ghost Bed, I slept for 10 hours. If you're waking up stiff, tossing and turning, sleeping hot, even reaching for a pain reliever before bed, hoping tonight will be different, that's not aging. That's your mattress talking. Here's another thing I love about Ghost Bed. You get 101 nights to try it at home. If you don't like the difference, just send it back risk-free. Ghost Bed is currently having their Memorial Day sale plus an extra 10% off for my audience. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson and use promo code Carson. Ghostbed.com/Carson. Promo code Carson for the sleep of a lifetime. My entire life, my bedding has just been bedding. I got the least expensive stuff I could find. Have you noticed your sheets slipping off the corners lately? Maybe your pillows just don't feel supportive anymore. Most people actually keep their bedding way longer than they should. It slowly wears down, and you don't realize how much it's affecting your sleep. That's why I upgraded to Boll & Branch. They make everything your bed needs. Their signature organic cotton sheets, pillows, blankets, and comforters are all designed to be breathable, incredibly soft, and get better over time. Most people start out with their signature sheets. I added the waffle blanket, and now the whole bed just feels amazing. The moment you get Boll & Branch is the moment you discover the difference. Upgrade your sleep with Boll & Branch. Get 15% off your first order plus free shipping at bollandbranch.com. That's BOLL and branch.com/Rob Carson. Promo code Rob Carson. That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND branch.com/Rob Carson. Code Rob Carson to unlock 15% off. Exclusions apply.
We have him.
Cool.
To a disturbing post that was put up by Star Wars actor Mark Hamill. White House correspondent Jackie Heinrich live on the North Lawn with the reaction. This was a pretty disturbing post.
Yeah, John, the actor best known for playing Luke Skywalker put out an AI-generated image of President Trump in a grave with the caption that reads, "If only." Wow. And it comes just days after yet another attempt on the president's life at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. The suspect in that event has been charged with an attempt to assassinate the president.
Well, I guess he went to the dark side, dear Christian Toto. What do you think?
I wish I could be surprised. It's just more of the same. It's become normalized. And
I know.
You know, even in the first administration, there were a bunch of celebrities who were either wishing death on Trump or suggesting it. Johnny
Kathy
Depp
Griffin? Remember Kathy Griffin with the severed head?
Oh, my gosh. You know, I think about that often, and in part because if she did that today and not 7, 8, 9 years ago, I think we would collectively shrug. It's been normalized. And that's a terrible thing to say about our culture. But listen, I've loved Mark Hamill for years for his Star Wars work. I think he's become a really interesting character actor. I don't deny his talent.
Voice actor. Voice actor.
Did he share it.
He's a hell of a voice actor, man. He plays the Joker.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
No, really good stuff. But, when you do something like that, which is just ghoulish, and then even when he got caught and he apologized, I don't know if you read his apology.
No.
It was very insincere. Might have had a misspelling or two as well.
Wow.
So, listen, we've all done bad things. We've all made mistakes. We've all kind of fired off something that we don't really think is really reflective of who we are. I have to give a measure of grace sometimes, but when you get caught and you can't even offer a legitimate, heartfelt apology, it just speaks volumes of what's in your head.
It's I don't know. Is it a Catholic thing that I wouldn't put something up like that because I would feel terrible about it and I would feel like it was going to come back to me? Is that a Catholic thing or is that just a human thing?
I would say it's both. It's a human thing not to share that kind of hatred. Yeah. And listen, there have been Democrats I despise politically, but I'd never wish ill on a Joe Biden or Barack Obama. If they were hurting, if they were in an accident, if they had a health situation, I'd be sad. I don't roll that way. I don't think we should be even thinking that way.
I don't even think that way,
recently.
Christian. I don't think that way. I never thought about Joe Biden dying in my head. I'm like, you know what? He's going to live. I don't like the guy. I want him out of office. I want to be exposed for his corruption. But I don't even think that. I don't wish death on somebody like that. It's just, even to think about it, let alone to put it on social media, there's something, you're just mentally ill.
Yeah, but the problem is bigger than these particular stars. You think about when a Jimmy Kimmel or even Saturday Night Live, when they uncork one of those, Trump could be dead soon jokes, the audience reaction is cheers, it's laughter, it's jubilant. That's the bigger issue. We can pick on Hamill, we can pick on Jimmy Kimmel, great. But it's responding. It's people who are seeing that and hearing that and saying, yeah, bring it on.
Well, it's the same people who cheered and went on and laughed about Charlie Kirk being killed. I mean, who the hell does that? You really, boy, I tell you, you ought to see a priest or something. And then Mark Ruffalo. So you got Mark Hamill, Mark Ruffalo. These things come in threes. It could be Vin Diesel next. You're saying, what, Vin Diesel? His name's Mark Sinclair. Yeah, his name's Mark Sinclair. But Mark Ruffalo, you know what Mark is doing? He put up an AI-generated photo of Donald Trump with little girls, inferring that he's a pedophile. And it turns out absolutely AI-generated. He has come out to not only apologize, he's trying to do some CYA because he's about to get his rear end sued into the abyss.
Yeah, I didn't even hear about that. I mean, Mark's always weighing in on politics. I don't agree with it, but I feel like up until now he hasn't descended into that sort of that gutter. But that sharing that kind of AI stuff is just the worst. Listen, the bottom line is if those pictures existed, they'd be all over the news. It'd be a major story, and Trump would be out of office. None of those things are happening.
You would think. Now, did you hear Jake Tapper? This is. I knew you probably haven't heard this because I just saw it this morning. I think it's kind of funny. Apparently, and I knew that Marco Rubio was a big fan of 90s and early 2000s hip hop, and I am to some degree too. Even Public Enemy, 1988, and LL Cool J, and then I moved into whatever, Tupac, whatever. But he's a big fan of the music. He's made reference to it, and he's been quoting rap songs at his pressers. Did you know this?
Yeah, I did hear about that, yeah.
Okay, well, listen to, for some reason, Jake Tapper, I don't know if he has a problem with it. I don't know what he's trying to do with it, but I want you to listen to Jake Tapper talk about this.
While hardly the most important part of Secretary of State Rubio's comments about Iran, he did drop a few 90s hip-hop references that those of you who are not Gen X may have missed. First, talking about what the Iranian regime is doing to its own economy, he said this:
"They should check themselves before they wreck themselves in the direction that they're going."
That is a reference to the 1992 Ice Cube song, Check Yourself, from his album The Predator. You better check yourself or you wreck yourself. Then, at a different time, he was talking about the mental stability of the leaders of Iran. And he said this:
"They're insane in the brain."
That is a reference to the 1993 Cypress Hill song, Insane in the Brain. He might have music on his mind.
Could Jake Tapper sound whiter, Christian?
But it's funny. You would think Jake Tapper might be doing an investigative piece about the fraud in Ohio or California or Minnesota, but no, he's breaking down rap lyrics from the Secretary of State. I mean, just It's on a slow news week, dude. You got some stuff to cover. Go do your work.
You're exactly right. It is not a slow news week, dude. That is perfect. Because of all the things, you're right. Look at this week, Christian. Everything from racial gerrymandering, the Supreme Court, Tennessee, the Virginia, the Supreme Court turned over the gerrymandering of Republicans out of existence in the state of Virginia. What happened in Indiana and all of this. What's happening in California in the gubernatorial race and in L.A., by the way. You'd think you could cover something other than him, and he just sounds so white. He's like, that is in reference to a song by Cypress Hill called Insane in the Brain.
It's amazing. And listen, he doesn't take sides. Don't you dare charge him with that.
That is a song by a man named Tone Loc, and it's called Funky Cold Medina, which appears to be some sort of an aphrodisiac. We're not sure. We'll have the details at 11. Just
the lack of self-awareness is amazing.
You want to talk about insane in the membrane? He certainly is. Listen, I got a couple other stories I want to talk to you about on the other side of the break. You got some great stuff on Hollywood in Toto, HollywoodInToto.com, including, what is the deal with the death of shame, actress to OnlyFans pipeline, among other things, and that on the other side of the break with Christian Toto on the Rob Carson Show. Don't go anywhere. is a Friday, and we have one of our unusual suspects on the show. As always, from HollywoodInToto.com, Christian Toto. And we're talking about Mark Hamill and how he did this just dark, awful, insidious meme with Donald Trump in a grave. You have the headline, "Did Mark Hamill help crush Star Wars?" He certainly, with this, crushed my possibility of watching any Star Wars movie with him in it ever again.
Yeah, I don't think he's in it unless there's a surprise coming on. But there's a new Star Wars movie, the first in, I think, 7 years, The Mandalorian and Grogu, coming out in about 2.5 weeks. And listen, he's not directly involved, but he has become the face of Star Wars. He's the ambassador. And, William Shatner is the face of Star Trek. It just is what it is. And we loved him for that role, and we'll never, it'll always be part of our childhoods. All these things are just, they just exist. And the fact that he's doing this and using his star power in such a clunky, mean-spirited way is not good. Listen, there's lots of problems with Star Wars in the modern era. The trilogy they just made was inconsistent. It had, girl boss nonsense. You can go on and on. The Acolyte was a terrible TV show. Yeah. But having him out there doing this kind of behavior is not helping the franchise. It's just not.
Well, what about all those Star Wars convention goers who might be MAGA supporters? That's not good. That is not good.
Yeah, what did Michael Jordan allegedly say? Republicans buy sneakers too. Well, conservatives go to Star Wars movies. We love the franchise. We want to love it.
And there are some 46-year-old conservative virgins who go to Star Wars conventions. I want to mention this real quick. There's a Jimmy Stewart biopic coming out, I guess, in the fall, maybe November. And I got to tell you, it looks pretty damn good, and it focuses on him, being this Hollywood actor and getting ready to give it all up to go fight in World War II. It looks like it's pretty good. Have you heard any buzz about that at all?
Yeah, I don't know buzz-wise, but the trailer was interesting, and the topic is fascinating. It's one of the things you think, why haven't I done this before? Jimmy Stewart is a national treasure as an actor, and he's lived a remarkable life. So I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
Again, I don't think this is a Hollywood movie. It might be sort of an outside. I don't know if it's Angel Studios or who's doing it, but I don't think it's a traditional.
It does seem a lot like Angel Studios. It does seem a lot like Angel Studios, but I guess it's going to be in theaters. I think it's going to be in theaters. So
yeah, no, absolutely. I can't wait to see it. I'm curious about it, and it matters.
And that's when Hollywood actually was patriotic. It's just crazy, right? It's just crazy. You have a headline on HollywoodandToto.com. The actress to OnlyFans pipeline heats up. This is a part of the death of shame and modesty, and it's sad because once you do this, they've really thrown you in the garbage. Honestly, it's pretty sad.
Yeah, it is, and from what I understand, OnlyFans can have lots of super adult naughty material, but they also can have just non-censored stuff where you can connect with your fans. And I think some of the actresses we're talking about in the story are just that. They're not getting into sexually explicit things. They may have bikini pictures or something.
All right.
Yeah, but the bottom line that I mentioned in the story is that part of this is that Hollywood is really cruel to actresses as they get older.
Yes.
For every Meryl Streep and Cate Blanchett, there are many that get into their 40s and 50s, and all of a sudden the jobs go away.
Yeah.
And you're stuck. You don't have another kind of career to fall back on. You need some money, and maybe you can just do this in a very pleasant way and connect with fans. I'm not going to judge them. Obviously, OnlyFans is pretty rough stuff at times.
Yeah.
I just think it's emblematic of a system and industry that doesn't let women get older. Whether
100%. Yeah, my OnlyFans page, not getting a whole lot of traffic there, Christian. It's not a lot of
mine either.
Not a lot of traffic. I'm working out and everything. You remember? I'm just going to throw this out here. Remember back in the 90s, there was a website called Mr. Skin, and it was for our generation who looked at the National Geographic or the Sears bra and girdle section as porn, And they this stupid website would just find a shot where there's a slightly topless scene of an actress, and they would isolate. And it was like, oh man, I got to look at this. It was so. Men are just disgusting pigs. We really are. We're just disgusting pigs. My first when I saw the actress to OnlyFans pipeline, my first reaction was, "Whoa, who is it?"
I know. Listen, we're all human.
I know.
Okay. You describing Mr. Skin made me feel nostalgic because that's so old-fashioned and dated. And imagine if you're hearing this and you're a 20-something, you're thinking, what? What was that?
What is Mr. Skin? It's where you could see a little bit of a shot of a nipple, and that was the biggest thing in the world. Look, it's Elle McPherson's nipple. Oh my God, it's so stupid.
Life is simpler then.
Thank God. I know, right? Mortal Kombat 2. Is this? I see the headline: a chaotic, silly, and somehow still a guilty pleasure. Is this kind of movie you want to take your kid to? I suppose. Maybe your teenager.
It's R-rated, so
okay.
Maybe teenagers will enjoy it. Listen, all it is fighting and action and adventure.
Okay.
And interesting special effects, and it's dumb, and I couldn't figure out what was going on from time to time. But I got to say, I was not bored, and it was exciting in moments. And if you know exactly what you're getting, you'll be fine. Anyone else is going to walk away thinking that was barely a movie.
Very good. Well, Christian, I appreciate you being on the show today, man. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, Mother's Day weekend, by the way. HollywoodInToto.com if you want to check out that. And also, Christian, where can people watch your podcast?
Go to YouTube or check it out on Spotify or iTunes or any other podcast provider.
All right, thanks, sir. I'll take care of yourself. We'll talk soon. I do have a new parody from Jim Gossett I want to play about Mark Ruffalo. Now, Mark Ruffalo posted an AI photo of Donald Trump alluding that he was with little girls, okay? And it's grotesque, and he has a real opportunity, real possibility of getting sued. Pretty disgusting. Jim Gossett did this as the president on the Rob Carson Show.
I'm gonna own Mark Ruffalo's home when I sue him for all that he's got.
Sing along!
Those pictures of me, anybody could see. Authentic, those photos were not.
Let's make some s'mores and start a fire.
Sue Mark Ruffalo. In bankruptcy he'll go.
He should. It's filthy.
Those pictures were fake. I'm gonna take all of Mark Ruffalo's dough.
Gonna have to make another Hulk movie.
Mark Hamill must know his arrest will be quite a blow.
Hope the Secret Service visits him.
Does he have TDS?
Yeah.
The answer is yes.
Big time.
As bad as Bob De Niro.
I think this stuff is going to be coming to a very abrupt halt in the next couple of years, this nonsense. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Hi, kids. That was fun, wasn't it? Didn't Jimmy do a good job there? Didn't he do a good job there? Did a good job. Hello, Dookie Bear. Truth be told. Wild Bill West. Are you enjoying the show? I'm enjoying the show. I'm having a great time today. Thanks for watching. Hello, Mike Ballou. Good to see you there. After you dump 25 gallons of water. What is this? Okay, sorry. You're talking about something. I can't follow the conversation when you guys are... you guys were talking while I'm talking. Drag queen pole dancing kindergarten story hour. Well, that's Scott Davies. Okay, whatever. You're talking about going to Sam's Club. Last trip to Sam's Club, gas was what? Oh, trip was $700. You went to $700 at Sam's Club. Yeah, I went to Costco. There's not a Sam's Club near me. But every time I go to Costco, I end up buying a bunch of crap I don't need. And I literally go up to the cash register. I told the woman, I said, you know what I came here for? She goes, no. I said, nothing. $250 later, living by myself. Do I need it? No. It's ridiculous. Oh, let's see over here on the Facebook-aloo. I'm having trouble getting on Facebook. I don't know what the deal is. But anyway, thank you for watching, guys. Make sure to watch my TV show this weekend, will ya? Make sure to watch what Donald Trump is going to do. Support them. What's this? Trump's talking. Gold Star moms. Yeah. Mother's Day coming up this weekend. I do miss mine, man. Greatest tribute to her is remembering her every day of my life. Every single day of my life. I think of my mother. I think about her. I think about how much I love her and miss her. It never goes away. I miss her. I miss her. I miss her conversations. All right, here we go. Here we go. Diggy.
Got about 3.5 minutes here.
Okay.
Relentlessly slowing the spread of the stupid every day. It's the Rob Carson Show.
It is the Rob Carson Show. About to wrap things up. Did you hear the vomitous interview that Stephen Colbert did with Barack Obama this week? I should have played this with Christian Toto, but I want you to listen. This is so fishing for compliments. This is so, how much do you like? How much do you love me? Listen to Stephen Colbert and this. They might as well just made out, for God's sake. Sorry for the visual.
A lot of people tell me I should run for president.
Oh, well, you certainly have the look.
Thank you very much.
You have the hair.
Well, for the record, I think it's a stupid idea.
Yeah, it is.
How dumb do you think it is for people to say that I should run for president?
Yeah, he's fishing for a compliment. He wants Barack Obama. I don't think it's a bad thing for you to run for president. I think you're pretty great, Stephen Colbert, since you're going to be unemployed very shortly.
Well, the bar has changed.
That is true.
Let me put it this way. I think that you could perform significantly better than some folks that we've seen.
Is that an endorsement?
It was not.
Oh, boy. Here's John Kennedy's take on it, and it is, of course, spectacular.
I also got a kick out of Mr. Colbert. He and President Obama are obviously best buds. Maybe they ought to get a motel room or something. They were just fawning all over each other. I don't have anything against Mr. Colbert. I've always thought that he was
propagandist,
shallow as a puddle. Now he doesn't believe that.
Yeah.
He thinks he's one of the smartest people on the planet. If you don't take my word for it, ask him.
Yes.
His personal vanity has always been unshakable, but his problem is not his vanity or his intelligence. It's his numbers. He was losing CBS $40 million a year because nobody was watching. So CBS told him to sit his 50-cent ass down, and they said, you're fired.
Boom, boom, boom. I have a late-night TV show that runs in the afternoon on Saturday. I know it doesn't make a lot of sense, but you know what? It's Donald Trump's favorite comedy show. Yeah, my show. Donald Trump says that I'm the funniest man on television. Donald Trump said that. I know. It's like, wow. Head explode. This happened years ago. And he said it ever since, and he's been retruthing my show every weekend, which is such a gift. It's called Rob Carson's What in the World? And it is a smart show. I'm proud of the show. I'm proud of my writing. I'm proud of what I do with the video clips. I write around video clips, and then I stop and start them at my own leisure and intersperse my thoughts. And it's funny as hell. And it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Newsmax, and then again Sunday night at 8:30 following Dr. Michael Savage, who is a gigantic fan of my show. So it's called Rob Carson's What in the World. Set your DVR, download the Newsmax app, get a Newsmax Plus membership, whatever it takes. Watch it on YouTube, watch it on satellite television, whatever. But I promise you, you're going to love the show, and the President of the United States loves my show, and I can't thank him enough for that. The guy who was a drunk car salesman just 7 years ago. Unbelievable. God bless you. America has founded. Donald Trump is a great president. Our military kicking butt and taking names. And until Monday, happy Mother's Day, and don't catch the stupid. I'll see you then.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.